Until the philosophy of all one race superior than another and is inferior is finally and permanently discredited, as Virginia, Maryland made it, and abandoned. Everywhere is Proud Boys. It's a Proud Boys. Did y'all hear about the Proud Boys? Until there is no longer first class and second class citizens, as Virginia and Maryland made it. Until y'all stop taking Harriet, put her on Capitol like you done called her again. Cut that out, war. We got to talk about that this morning. Good morning. Until their basic human rights and Jivin Bowden stop swelling troops in Syria. War and colonization. Where is Donald Trump? Got to find what is this man saying? Why are they so damn scared of a Twitter thug who was just in the White House for billions? It will remain but a fleeting illusion to be pursued, but we may never attain it. Good morning, everybody. Everywhere is war. How you find Donald Trump? Somebody said he's in Florida. Somebody told me yesterday he's in Florida restoring the republic. All right. If you say so, I don't know. I don't know about that. You taking on the biggest colonizers and killers on the planet. These people bloodlet for business. Oh, goodness. I probably should say this first, right? Because I'm going to get upset and I think about it. You know, there's 7 to 11 million children starved in America during the lockdown. 7 to 11 million children did not have enough food during the lockdown. Lockdown, you take something and hit yourself with it. Just take something, anything in the room. Not anything too sharp or hard. Don't hurt yourself. Just for being stupid and trusting these colonizers. Come on, everybody. War in the east. War at Deb CT's house. War up north. War at Sarah Hensley house. War, Christine in Belgium too. Rumors of war. Until that day. Oh, good Lord. We need to talk about this $20 thing. This thing that y'all think is a good idea. No, the Proud Boys. We'll do the Proud Boys real quick. I hate being right, and I don't hate being right both at the same damn time. I tell you what, history does not repeat itself, but it rhymes like a mother hubby. It just rhymes. You know that the Proud Boys, the leader, I forgot his name, Emilio something, I posted it. Guess what? Before he's a Proud Boy, guess what his employment was? He's a white white supremacist. He was an informant for the police department. They caught him doing some crime and they made him an informant for the police department, for law enforcement. But now the white president just put the problem. You got scammed. Just find something soft in the room. Not too hard, a pillow or something. But put something heavy in there. Put like a, bag of peas or something and just start hitting yourself. They played you. They do this all the damn time, people. This is why I laugh. And my friends, and we just sit back and say, all right, y'all gonna believe that now, huh? George Soros loves black people. He gave him $100 million to create Black Lives Matter. And I'm like, no, just George Soros just topples people, topples civilizations around the planet, currencies. He's a currency manipulator. That's where he got his billions from. He did not come to America because he thinks black people is just, we need to say to black people. He came to stir up trouble, all right? They gave him enough trouble on the other side from the Proud Boys. So now you can sit back and think about the insurrection. How insurrection is your surrection? And why are your lawmakers who are passing new laws to get us in Syria stoke up the war in Iraq again, invading, insurrecting other people's countries, but they're worried about the insurrectionists was trying to kill me with the selfie sticks. But this might be a fun administration. It might be. I'm not convinced we're going to make it all 4 years. But anyway, good morning, everybody. What else was in the news? A lot of good stuff. Oh, just old stuff. Not good stuff, just old stuff. Ain't nothing new in the news. It's the same old bullshit. Same old bullshit. Now, just this time you're clapping. Last time they were clapping. And it is Thursday. It is Ivana. Del Bigtree is today. So if you want to talk about the P word, that nobody can talk about the P word, that we ain't supposed to talk about, that I'm going to talk about less and less every damn day. Something out there killing people who have cardiovascular disease, like sharks kill people when they taste blood in water. And don't nobody want to talk about the problem. The problem is you in the water with some blood. Get out the water because the shark gonna kick. Nah, the big farmer gonna come save me. The highest paid person in the United States Incorporated wants you to be healthy. I was thinking about that this morning. I have to go to my thread to figure out what I was thinking about, but how I said it. Something to the effect of like, I was in sales for a long time before I joined the colonizers in fast food and banking and government and big farm and all the other big industries I work for. Before I joined the colonizers, the black market Wall Street billionaires working on their plantations, I was in sales. And I tell you what, in sales, the highest paid person in all things being equal, when the company actually knows where their bread is buttered, you know who the highest paid person in that corporation is? It's the sales guys, the sales gals, either one of them. They're the highest paid. Why? Because that's where your bread is buttered. Where is America's bread buttered? Big pharma. We are in an epidemic epidemic of drug addiction. And this man's salary keeps going up and up and up and up. That man gonna break $500,000 a year this year for making a nation full of drug addicts, the most diseased time in U.S. history. And his salary keeps going up. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. He's a sales guy. He is not a doctor. He's a sales guy. And he's a politician on the side, which is just an actor because you don't have any politicians as a corporation. They're all acting like they're politicians. Good morning, Michael. What's going on? But I think that was the most profound thing of my morning, just to find out that this dude, let me find this picture. I don't want to say I told you so. I don't really want to do that, but the history told you so. We'll do it that way. History told you so. You should have known better. No, it's white supremacists. Nope, it's just the United States Incorporated. It's the same thing after Bacon's Rebellion. Remember Bacon's Rebellion? Why did they create white people and black people after Bacon's Rebellion? Because the white people and black people was getting together, wasn't respecting the distancing, is having babies. The biggest interracial marriage time of the U.S. history was before slavery, but they don't like to let you know that. That's only something you'll get from historians. They don't like to put that on TV. All the laborers got together, the poor whites and poor blacks, because the government back then didn't know how to create Black Lives Matter. They didn't have $100 million in the George Soros, and they didn't have an Emilio something, whatever his name is, to go create the Proud Boys. So they couldn't divide you up. So they got together and said, "Nah, we're going to take the land back." And they all got together, interracial, went to go take the land back, and then they stopped the rebellion. And Maryland and Virginia called up the king. Said, "King, what the hell are we going to do?" The monkeys done figured it out. They figured out the scam of keeping them laborers and us the 1% and stealing all the land. And they said, we need to divide them up. How do we divide up all the people from all around the world, all the beautiful colors, the babies and children, everybody just breeding, having babies who do not want to be slaves on our land plantations? You got to create the race. That's what you did. They created white and they created black. And that was the end of the story. And then they did it again. And they did it again. And they did it again. Then they just keep repeating the story. History just repeats in terms of rhyming. That was a couple great videos this morning. My God, what I watched this morning. Kim Iverson had a good one this morning. She went into some details. Oh my God, James Corbett. Did y'all watch James Corbett? I have to post that one. That was one of the most phenomenal James Corbett. Go with this right here, the Proud Boy guy right here. Proud Boy's leader was a prolific informer for law enforcement. And you know one thing, if you were in the past, you always will be. It's like once a colonizer, always a colonizer. And so look at this. And so he'll get off and everybody else will get records. You know, they'll create this national police state. They'll step it up. What are they calling this? Is it Patriot Act Part 2? No. Domestic terrorism. Have they decided what they're going to call the law yet? They should just call it stupid people. We're going to screw y'all again. Speaking of screwing, more news, great news this morning. Did you know China has a test that works better than the Americans test? That was on Corbett this morning. I guess it was last night. I don't know when I watched it this morning. China has a test that works better. So I suggest y'all sign up for the China test because it worked better than the test, the PPR test that the maker said can't be used to diagnose disease. But the China test can. It's just got a different entry point. I think it's so. Well, it's not funny. It's not funny. Hashtag save grandmama, get her an anal test. China started passing out their anal test. Their anal test for the flu works a lot better, they said, than the what is it, the nose swab? What y'all doing? Is it nose or is it throat? What are they doing for y'all? And I say y'all because you ain't coming nowhere near it. I don't believe in cheating nature. I think nature's just fine. I don't need to cheat nature. Now that we can beat nature with the pharmaceutical industry. No, I think nature knows what it's doing. Nature's been doing her job for a couple billion years now. I think she knows what she's doing. No, we can do it better. It's a flu. Listen, you can talk about the P word all you want. You can talk about the P word till you're blue in the face. You can talk about the 4+1 G word all you want till you're blue in the face. Until you deal with the root problem. And the root problem is people have been dying from cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and obesity for a long time. And something out there right now is preying upon them. And your government doesn't want you to know, doesn't want grandma to know what it is because they get money from all the corporations that cause it. All right, hey, Michael, what's going on on this full? Is it full moon? What's that mean? Is that something good, Mike? Does that mean United States Incorporated employees going to turn into wolves or something? Hey, great morning to y'all. Good morning, Heather. They already are wolves. What y'all think about Hillary? I'm not Hillary. Harriet. What y'all think about? I gotta fix it. Hold on. It's not fixed. It's not fixed. I was trying to get going this morning. What y'all think about Harriet being on the 20? Is that a good thing? Should we be chanting? Yay, Harriet made it on the 20. Harriet, you finally ascended to where we wanted you to be. I'm gonna piss somebody off when I say this, but I do that all the time. See, I'm gonna take the dollar right now because this is the dollar with Harry. See, go right here. I'll make it big. Yeah, can y'all see the $20? Look at that. Oh, y'all just so proud. Look, we got a jive and boat and saying gonna put Harriet on the $20 bill. And first of all, it's not a dollar bill. If you read it very carefully, it's a currency note. It's an IOU to global billionaires. But we're gonna go ahead and take that and put that right in. Who's that? George Washington? Look at that. Oh, George, how you doing, George? And we're going to put it right in the slave's hand. Why? Because they just caught Harriet again. Harriet is now capital. Who said that this morning? Somebody said that was a great perspective. Great perspective. They caught her again. She was free. Now she's capital again. Some witchcraft in that, isn't it? Think about that. She was free. She got free, fought her way free, and y'all, and the ancestors of the people she enlightened and the ancestors of people she freed put her right back in as capital again. Put her right back in. I think Harriet's turned over in her grave. I think she's there because that's not a dollar. That is what enslaves the entire planet. The world is enslaved by the people who own the banking system. And now y'all done put her and made her capital of the people who own the banking system. And this is a good idea. This makes some sense. This is damn near, if it ain't black magic, symbolism, whatever, but here's how it works. Like I said, as I've been sitting back and watching the play in this football game, this world is a stage, whoever gets abused the most were the people who blindly follow those in power. So you better look out. If you a Democrat, got some brown skin, or got some white skin, when everybody think that you're okay with the brown skin because you told everybody that you think Donald Trump is racist and how many black people stayed at your house. You got that virtue signaling, you better look out. Domestic terrorism, new laws are coming out, they say. And so I know what that's going to be about. I think someone said that they're making half of the United States domestic terrorists. Yep, that makes sense. That makes perfectly good sense. You are a criminal. They treat you like a criminal in this country from birth. Hey, good morning, Mark Johnson. Do not serve in that military, Mark Johnson. Mark Johnson, you were in the Vietnam War, right? They call this brother, no, he calls himself a low budget assassin. You know, people in the military, it is now time to kiss them. It is time to hug them. If it's your husband or your boyfriend, give them some till he blew it in the face or blew somewhere else. If your wife or your girlfriend serves in the United States Incorporated military or British Incorporated military, or Canada Incorporated, make sure you give them all that you can give them. Cut the grass, put the toilet seat down, wash all her, do everything that she asks you to do because she going to war. That's where we are. Colonization is ramping right back up. As they've convinced you that they were scared of insurrection, they are writing laws like you would not believe. They said a convoy pulled into Syria the day that y'all were worried about insurrection. They were literally insurrecting the day they turned and they had an erection. The deep state, the billionaires, the defense industry, Raytheon, and all of them, while they were talking erection or surrection in Washington, they were having an erection. It's time for war, baby. Time for war, and people don't want to see it, but hey, history repeats. So Mark Johnson, yes, I'm glad that you have aged out of the military. People, do not let your children grow up to be cowboys, because they will send them cowboys over to other nations. They'll blow them up and steal resources from everybody. And if you're a brown nation, you need to be scared. You just need to move. With Diamond Bold in office, you need to move. Them people going to blow you up and take every damn thing. Immigration going to be through the roof when these people do what they're supposed to be doing. I'm just telling you. I'm going to tell you how I see it. And it was the same thing with Trump. When Trump was in, he didn't do nothing for poor whites. He didn't do nothing for them. So we're going to do something with the mines. Y'all get your jobs back. Da, 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 da. You know, he didn't do nothing. Why? Because that's where he got his blind following. Didn't have to do nothing. Obama, before, he'd do a damn thing for brown America. Could care less. But good example. Yesterday. What was the text message I got yesterday? Something about the prison system and jiving Bowden. Oh, he stopped the private prisons or something. I didn't even read it halfway because that's what Obama did. Oh, something about the private prisons. He shut down the prison. And at the end of the administration, give it a few years and his truth start coming out, he built more prisons in elementary schools. Whoever they screw is whoever blind trusts them. You know, but they'll virtue signal for this right here. They'll be excited about that right there. They'll be excited we finally ascended. We done captured Hillary. Harriet, put her back on the bill. Harriet's turning over in her grave. That's what they do. They throw some chicken bones to you. They virtue signal, you fall for it, and they get credit for it. And they will use that credit to abuse you and convince you it's a good idea doing what they're doing. Hey, good morning, Ivana. So we're going into the medical police state. Here, the military doesn't want to follow Bowden. Yeah, Christine, and that's a special topic. That is a special one that I don't really want to touch because you're not really allowed to talk about that one too much. And that's real. That's real. Well, you know what? I'll just say this. If y'all know anyone in the military, you go ask them yourself. I'm not going to say it. I grew up in a military family, and I know enough people in the military. And I tell you what, you will not like the things that they're saying. So anyway, Brother Mark, look forward to catching up. Yeah, Brother Mark does live streams. Y'all should watch him as well. Del Big Tree's on today. Have grandmama sit him down with the grandkids and the great grandkids, your your uncles, and all of Ivana's friends, every last damn one of them, and make them watch Del Big Tree. He blew it up last week. He's gonna blow it up this week. That's the only place you have any real science about that P word. Gotta get more coffee. I just got a job at UPS. Well, that's good to hear. Kind of, Jade. You know, I wish you didn't have to, but that's the world we live in. We got to make money to break money. Got to make money to break money. Hey, bring Sarah Steele up to date. Sarah Steele not up to date. Does she need a date? What's wrong with Sarah? Sarah, where you at? Sarah here? She need a date? You're not supposed to date right now. You're not supposed to do no dating, because I was over on Susan Jules' page this morning. And she said, no, now ain't time for dating, Mark. Tell Sarah Steele she need to go to Susan Jules' page. And she said some dirty words, some wordy dirds that I can't even say. Something about butt play. Something about if the government says you got to wear your face diaper, and when during butt play, she gonna need some lidocaine and some safe words and a bunch of other stuff. So I don't know, Mark Johnson. I don't think now's a great time. I think you can get the cuckoo virus through your butt cheeks. So tell Sarah Steele, you know, Sarah, you just chill. You go on stay at home or go find yourself an off-grid community. Ooh, speaking of that, did y'all hear that the price of wood is going up? Ooh, actually, Susan Jules said that. The price of wood in America is going up. Know why? Why is the price of wood going up? Because there ain't too many men out there dating because they hiding the wood. That was a report from California. Mariette said men are scared to go on dates because of the cuckoo virus, because something trying to get them. So the price of wood is going up. It's getting more expensive. The value is going up for single women. So no, the price of wood is going up. People moving out of the city. They're like, hell no, get the hell out of here. So homemakers, they can't find enough wood, so the price of wood is going up. Susan works at one of the colonizers' big box stores, and that's what she said that like a month ago. Price of wood is going after having trouble finding wood because people are moving out of the cities because they know what's going to happen in the city. It will be a smart city, and it ain't gonna make you smarter. That's kind of a good sign and kind of a bad sign. We do need to spread out. Soros is a financial terrorist, period. And that's what he does, Jay. He did that on one side, and then we magically find out that this dude is an informant on the other side, and all the people that followed them, because they all had legitimate gripes, but they did the stupid thing, and they fell for being violent in a violent-based system where they always use violent and groups to divide people up to abuse everybody. They got prison records. Half of the dudes that follow him now, they're trying to make them terrorists. They're trying to make, they used the, what was it? Somebody in the United States Incorporated called them terrorists. Said we're talking about these people like they're Al Qaeda. I think who was that on? That was a Kim Iverson this morning. And so it's crazy. You get behind psychopaths, bad things happen. Never give a violent system what it wants. It wants you to be violent. You will be violent on the Black Lives Matter side, the Antifa side, the Proud Boys, or whatever somebody's side. They're going to play you. They've been doing it since the very beginning. They have a 1942 House bill, or 1942 House bills to approve by the end of May. Now, how the Hades can they know what's in those? They don't have to know what's in it, Belinda Barker. I think you already know that. Our legislators don't read the legislation. That's not what their job is. They don't have appointment with my House representative on Tuesday. Well, you know what, Belinda? I used to go meet with the colonizers. I don't meet them no more. So if they got 1,942 House bills to approve, I'd go back, Belinda, and I would look and see, is that normal? I would imagine they usually have a couple hundred. That sounds pretty high. To me, that almost sounds like they had a whole bunch of bills that corporations were writing, because that's who writes the bills and hands them down, and they weren't getting passed. That could be an indicator that somebody wasn't passing their bills for the last 4 months, or not enough of them. And so now you've got a pile up of bills and invasion, things to go blow up and stuff. Where's Bernie at? Thought I had Bernie up here. I thought I put Bernie on the dollar bill. I don't see him now. We were talking about that yesterday, how they've kind of made this a fun thing. And it's fun to a degree, but not completely. Not completely. Bernie becoming famous again. It needs to be said that he voted for every war bill that came across his desk. First time I heard about Bernie, he was anti-war. He's anti-war. He's the only one don't like no war. I said, okay, I'm gonna listen to the guy, because Belinda, that's my position. I really don't care what happens in politics on the left or the right. I really don't care. I don't really care what happens in people's relationships. Someone, Belinda, who always want to tell you about their relationship. I don't never want to know about anyone's relationship. I think it's weird. I don't want to know what y'all doing. It's not my business, but they like to tell you stuff. Well, on the left and the right, I really don't care what's happening in their relationship as long as they ain't killing people. As long as you ain't beating her up and she ain't beating you up, I really don't give two damns. Y'all can do whatever you want to do. Don't tell me. I don't care nothing about no politics and marriages, relationships, let alone in Washington. First of all, it's a corporation. It's not a government. And two, they shouldn't be killing each other. So that was always my mainstay. I'm against war. I came from a military family. I'm against this war, that war, the last war, the next war, because all the wars are a lie. And 2 people in my family, minimum, died because they served in wars from the side effects of war, not even the direct effects of it. So no, they're not going to read the bill. That's not their job. Their job is to pass the bill. Their job is to take the money, keep their butt in that chair, keep it warm, and pass the bill. And they're going to pay, and they're going to pass the bill. They have staffers to read the bills. The staffer will read the bill and try to make sure that the politic actor, the political actor, the plactor, doesn't say or do anything too stupid in a speech to make it seem like they didn't actually read the bill. Just because you were raised that way don't mean you got to remain that way. Oh, Mark, you're from the South, ain't you? I almost heard a twang when you said that. Just because you were raised that way don't mean you got to act that way. So yeah, we used to go down south to Arkansas, get down there. That's how people talk to us, and it's just people. You can change. You can change anytime you want. Anytime you realize that the leaders of all of these groups are always behind the people who need you to be violent in a police state that only knows violence and it knows what to do with violence. It has no damn clue or idea what to do with peace. It has no idea what to do if you want to leave the system. It knows what to do if you want to fight the system. It knows what to do if you want to get a Sharpie sign and make a protest. But just because you were raised that way don't mean you got to stay that way. That's why, you know what, Mark, on that, that's a good point. Because when I was a kid, if I saw that, I'd have clapped for it. Because I was under 26 and I didn't have a frontal lobe yet. Now I got a frontal lobe and this joker is working, it's critical thinking for itself. I already know that that's some bullshit. I already know what that is. That's virtue signaling. You got the person that put more brown people in prison than anybody on this planet, who is the president of the United States Incorporated right now, decides that he wants to put a famous person who freed other people from slavery on the $20 bill, and people are clap because they're ignorant. They're not stupid, they're ignorant. Very intelligent people, but they're just ignorant. They don't seem to understand how this works. Good morning, Joe Johnson. Yes, we are a tribe, a 7 billion tribe all over this planet. It's always divided up on color, tribe, hair color, foot color, skin color, religion, nation, something ignorant and stupid that billionaires own to abuse everybody. And the UK, oh yeah, the UK better get ready for war too, Becca. The UK lost his damn mind a couple ways. I have to think about somebody. I have a lot of friends in the UK. Somebody posted, and I know Becca's in the UK. They lost their damn mind too. But that is why it's good right now that we're going through all of this, because it's obvious that it's some bullshit amiss and people can finally smell it. Be supernatural. Yes, be natural, Jay, because you ain't going to cheat nature. Nature is going to kill you. Nature will always get her pound of flesh if you think that you can jump in a shark tank with blood coming out your leg, but you took a drug first. If you get an injection and you jump in the water, well, Bill Gates said it's going to change the blood into something else and the shark won't sniff it. I wouldn't do that. Nature always knows what it's doing. Bill Gates is not here to help you. He is here to make money. That's why he is a billionaire. Trust nature. Eat what you're supposed to eat. If you know anybody with cardiovascular disease, get them the what is the name of the book? The Great Cholesterol Myth. Get them that book expeditiously. Many of us knew how corrupt foul was. I'm not sure we can say that word. Foul, Foulchi. Foul chi. If your chi is foul and you make almost $500,000 a year because you're the #1 salesman in a nation full of drug addicts, nobody should listen to you. Yep, since spring. Oh, we've known that before that, Ivan. They wrote books about that, man. When HIV rolled through, they wrote some books and they explained what he was up to. And now you got Judy Miscavige confirming it. And she wrote a book about it too. And you got all these confirmations, and that's called science. Like you're taking the data from all sources. But you still got people buying his socks with his face and name on it. Well, look at this. Title 28, U.S. Code 3002. I'm going to stop right there, Belinda Barker, because at that point, you read more legislation than anybody in the United States Incorporated. Look, right now, everybody is more educated than the actors in Washington just passing these things. Section 15A. States of the U.S. is not a government, but a federal corporation, including the judicial procedure section. You know what? That's Belinda Barker. If they have not deleted your page, they're going to delete it soon. You can't tell Americans they ain't got no government. You can't tell people that, oh, no, we just voted. We got them out of there. We just voted and we put them in. We're going to vote again and put them back in. And it's just like, people, you don't have a government. Since 1871, you got a corporation. It's a for-profit corporation and it's bankrupt. It does everything that it's told. And the same with London. Is that Becca? Same thing with London. The city of London is not a part of the UK. The city of London is owned. It is an owner. It owns the rest of the UK. This is how these people get down. And it's been a scam. And the scary part, Belinda, is you got the freaking law right there. But people won't read it. They're not going to read it. You know why, Belinda? Because that's words and it's text and it's letters, and that's just annoying. So a wise person once said, they hide reality in places people will never look, in books and the law. And they won't look. No, TV, see, Belinda, TV has pretty pictures. It's got colors. It's got virtue signaling. It makes us feel good about ourselves. It's got Hillary on the dollar, Harriet on the dollar. Why I keep calling her Hillary? Why is Hillary on my mind? I don't know. I might have got abductified last night. I got a little bump on the side of my face right here. And I don't know what to do with this thing. You can't see it, but I keep feeling this thing. And I'm thinking I got abducted. Now, let me finish. So it's been here for like a month. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, why do I have this little bump right here? And I'm thinking like it's a little alien device, something Hillary and her people came and grabbed me, put some anal probes in my butt to find out if I got the Chinese flu or something. And it wasn't the Chinese flu, because before it got there, it was the Fort Detrick flu. That's assuming you believe the theories on how we made it and sold it everywhere else. And this is one that just came home to roost. Anyway, saw Corbett play. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play the Corbett, Chrissy. Corbett was off the hook. Off the hook. It just hit too many things. Play some Corbett for us. All right, I'm being told what to do, because that's what authoritarian women do. They tell you what to do. Oh, I gotta bring the chat room up. Hold on. Oh, good Lord have mercy. How's everybody? Y'all doing good this time? Hopefully y'all doing good. Anybody cussing at me? Ingrown hair. Nope, not neither one. I don't know if it's a cyst or not, but there's something in here juicy. I'm gonna pop it later. Whoever said that, I'm gonna pop that, because this is what we do when we start feeling stuff. We got good at this as kids. When you get that big unicorn zit right there, when the girls weren't around. No, see, girls wouldn't give you nothing back there. You had all these bumps on your face because you ate a bunch of sugar. Number one comorbidity with the cuckoo virus. You eat a bunch of sugar, drink that soda pop and stuff. You get all these bumps on your face in the locker room and in the boys' bathroom. We get there, you get your fingers just about right. You don't want to put your fingernail in it, because if you get your fingernail in it, that'll like break the pressure. You get the pressure, and you're like, hey, John, look, hey, and all the droplets will just go everywhere. And hit the window, and you just get this big white splatter in the splatter. You ever watch Dexter? The blood splatter and the droplet splatter and the virus and the cuckoos and the bacteria and fungi, and it spray on all your friends, and they're like, yeah! Do me a favor. Don't ever have children with men. Don't. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about it. Everybody's so sterile now. The stuff we used to do. Oh my God. I used to have friends. I don't know how I got here, but we used to go out and drink and go to the bar and stuff. And you always got that friend that just not really scared of nothing in the bathroom. They're, oh, dude, I'm feeling I got to throw up. And I'm like, oh, Lord have mercy. Is the wife's in the car? That Mike gonna go throw up, which means he's gonna go hug the toilet in the public restroom to throw up. And now, oh my God, and now I'm not gonna put nobody on blast, but now y'all playing sterile. Like, I literally took you out your damn bathroom in college. Was in the public restroom, just laying on the floor, doo-doo and pee and everything. E. coli and stuff everywhere else. Anyway, let's get on to it. I'm sorry, y'all tickle me. Y'all tickle me to death. I think this is the funniest end of the world that I've ever lived through. I think who said it the best? Said it Lee Camp said it the best. He said, yep, this is just the end of the world with jokes. He said, welcome to the end of the world with jokes show. That's all it is. You just got to make, because what else you going to do? What else you going to do? Fight over lumber prices to go build some land out somewhere so you're not around when the zombies take over the city and the UN troops and the Chinese troops get here if they ain't already here. Or you just make jokes, or you do both. I'm trying to do both. There you go, the domestic terrorism bill. This was a good one. Is that on the screen yet? No, it's not on. There you go. Turn the volume up.
Welcome back to New World Next Week. I'm James Corbett of CorbettReport.com.
And I'm James Evan Pilato from MediaMonarchy.com. I've picked up the sense among the skeptics that the walls are closing in. We've got that story plus the domestic terror trap. But first, China Xi warns Davos World Economic Forum against new Cold War. Chinese President Xi Jinping warned global leaders at the all-virtual Davos Forum against starting a new Cold War and urged global unity in the face of the coronavirus pandemic. Having largely curbed the spread of the pandemic within its borders, Xi wants to position China as a key player in a new multilateral world order as the U.S. remains crippled by the pandemic on purpose. To build small cliques or start a new Cold War, to reject, threaten, or intimidate others will only push the world into division, said she in a likely veiled attack on new U.S. President Joe Biden's plan to revitalize global alliances to counter China's growing influence, which I believe I heard on weird conspiracy shows before. How Biden decides to handle the mounting tensions posed by China's rise will be one of the biggest strategic challenges he faces. Busy mishandling several urgent domestic crises, Mr. I Wrote the Patriot Act did not participate at Davos and tasked U.S. climate envoy John Skull and Bones Kerry with representing Washington.
Ooh.
But don't you worry. Old Joe stuck it to that evil Putin, though, meanwhile, as Russia to extend nuclear treaty with U.S., after Biden-Putin phone call. So, James, we're basically already swapping out boogie men, maybe boogie countries already?
Yes, exactly right. Exactly right. And so there's a lot of things that we have to note here. One is that, oh, look, things are going back to normal after those years of crazy disruption of Brexit and Trump and populism and all that. We're going back to normalization of international relations, which means, of course, that you're going to get your two options presented for you. Either you're on the NATO side of go in and rule people with an iron fist and bomb them back into smithereens if they don't accept it, or you're going to be, oh, the BRICS are the saviors and the multilateral new world order is the new world order we should be embracing. What if I don't want a new world order? What if we want free humanity to interact and with each other peacefully? No, you can't do that. You must be part of one of these collectives. So make your decision now. Of course, nonsense. And I know my audience will be sick to death of me saying this, but I have to say it every time. Fake and staged Cold War 2.0 is being engineered right before your very eyes, as I've been talking about for year after year after year after year. And it's maddening. It is truly maddening to know they're going to build China as the new boogeyman so that ultimately they can engage in the Cold War that is meant to merge these systems so that there will be a technocratic system in all of these countries that will be puppeteered by the same people who are funding it all into existence. If you need to get up to speed on that, please do so quickly. You will
Quickly, very quickly, you need to get up to speed to that. So that's what we've been talking about, right? We're at war. This is a war. It is a global war. It's just not America, it's a global war. And you got to pick a team. You got to pick a team. You got to pick one controlled opposition team or the other controlled opposition team. But you can't be in the middle. You can't say, no, I want to be conscious. I'm going to answer April's question, which is there any fighting among conscious people? The answer is no. Because consciousness means all sensing. If you sense all people, you have no interest in blowing up Chinese kids. You have no interest in defying them financially to make sure that they starve like how they starved 7 million to 11 million U.S. children with lockdowns. You don't have any ability to side against poor white people. You can't side against poor black people. You can't have an issue with immigrants because when you're conscious, you're all sensing. You sense everybody's pain. You empathize with everyone, and all of these conflict-based sides that rob your consciousness to make you into some sort of a dark magic clone of a being. It's impossible, and I think Corbett, he just lined that up pretty precisely. Like, you got two choices. Who is your enemy? Is your enemy China? Is your enemy Russia? But you can't not have an enemy, right? Because they need you to be a psychopath to play this game. Normal people can't play this game. And then they got Kerry. Once again, Kerry's another good example. Oh, yeah, climate change. We're going to get back on track and fighting climate change. If you don't know what the Invention Secrecy Act of 1951 is, you know nothing about climate change. If you've never been to geoengineering.org, you have no idea what these people are up to. People need to spend time doing research, not being online, picking which ignorant team to get on. Yes, Christine, to be divided and conquered. Absolutely. So no, there's no consciousness in any struggle anywhere because all the struggles are fake struggles. They're all fuggles, from Black Lives Matter to Prayer Boys to Americans and the Chinese and the Russians. Everybody's born in a spot. And what this system needs you to do is to embrace your bigotry and your indoctrination from the spot and skin you were born into. You got to be smarter than that.
We'll start by examining the work of Anthony Sudden and his voluminous and documented, carefully documented material talking about how For example, the Soviet Union, so the Cold War 1.0 was staged and phony conflict. Cold War 2.0 is running the same type of scam. So please go back to episode 297 of the Corbett Report, China and the New World Order. Please look at episode 369 of the Corbett Report, Globalization is Dead, Long Live the New World Order, talking about exactly this. The multilateral BRICS are going to be the saviors for the better New World Order that you must embrace. It is a scam. The worst part is it's the exact scam that we've just lived through for 4 years, where the Team Pepsi was, oh no, Russia is puppeteering everything. Trump is a Putin agent. Oh, it's Russian hackers. And now we have Team Coke going, China, Biden is a China puppet. China is puppeteering everything. China is the real enemy. Well, yeah, the Chinese government, the Chicoms, yeah, absolutely. They are a horrible thing that should not exist, and the Chinese people absolutely should not be living under that yoke of tyranny. But if you think that China is calling the shots, the Chinese are running the show, and they're the ones who are starting all this, and you are falling to the exact same garbage base of the pyramid propaganda level nonsense that the other team just went through for 4 years. You are part of the same two wings, same bird of prey. I know you've heard it before. It is still true. They are still running these psychological operations. Don't fall for it. All sides, whether it's China and Russia or NATO or all of them, they are all collectivists. They all want you to bow down and submit. Do not do it. Please get up to speed with how this conflict is being engineered so that you can avoid this trap, and realize that the real enemy is the technocratic system that they are trying to set up that will look, at the end of the day, it might have a different flavor in China than it will in America, spelt with the K, obviously. But it's going to be the same idea at base. And please, as I always say, note that in the propaganda about China. These evil Chicoms doing all these horrible things and social credit and locking down their citizens. I wish we could do that here. That's the way it will be presented to you, and don't fall for that psyop.
Well, like I said, I think just a couple of weeks ago, new look, same great taste. It's packaging. You remind me just there talking as like so many things, trying to find information I used to be able to find easily on the internet, now completely impossible. And even the good search engines are just as crappy as the bad search engines. But you remind me of one of G. Edward Griffin's classic, I think it's actually a film strip. Is it The Capitalist Conspiracy? Or possibly The Communist Conspiracy? Either way, it's the same result. He basically does this fantastic talk about pressure from above, pressure from below. That's how they get you to meet in the middle with their plan that they wanted in the first place. So as far as maybe some gross stuff about China, James, this morning, just covered on my morning show, they're using anal swabs to test for COVID in China now. So again, if you guys are super excited about Most Favored Nation, you have to think about that. New World next week, episode 435, exposing the live action role play for over 11 years. And I think, James, maybe here's another soon-to-be classic moment from the great Capitol insurrection psyop. Proud Boys leader was prolific informer for law enforcement. This exclusive from Reuters. Enrique Tarrio, Tarrio, the leader of the Proud Boys extremist group, has a past as an informer for federal and local law enforcement, repeatedly working undercover for investigators after he was arrested in 2012, according to a former prosecutor and a transcript of a 2014 federal court proceeding obtained by Reuters. I'm no math major, but I'm pretty sure that's before Swamp Thing. In the Miami hearing, a federal prosecutor, a Federal Bureau of Investigation agent, and Tarrio's own lawyer described his undercover work and said he had helped authorities prosecute more than a dozen people in various cases involving drugs, gambling, human smuggling. Plus, you read more in the article, Big Pharma scams. That smells like the state to me, James. And other news, as...
it's going to hit QAnon for this. See, this is what I'm talking about. So every side they control. We've said this for the longest time. When you live in a group conflict-based system, none of the groups are organic. They control all of them. They dictate who goes, who stays, who's where, who gets the funding, who's not. If it's popular, it's control bullshit. Larry, I have to agree with you. You're talking about collectivism. I like collectivism. I'm trying to do comments while we look at this. No, I appreciate collectivism. And the reason I like Corbett is because Corbett has identified the billionaires and corporations that are behind the enslavement of the planet. Right? In terms of collectivism, we're all connected. We're all one. We're whether we want to be or not, it doesn't really matter. Now, there's collectivism socialism, which I don't like, nor collectivism communism, right? That's still controlled by the billionaires. But then there is, we are one human race, and that we are, right? We are 7 billion different unique individuals who are all working together, or should be, for the betterment of the planet. And we don't need to do that under a government. We don't need to do that under a king, a lord, slave plantation, or colonizers. We can do that as individuals. But I know what you're saying, like the angst that I have for the word collectivism is usually it's given to you in this narrative, hey, give everything you can to the king, like they did to Christ in Acts. Bring all your things to the storehouse, and the king, the God, will take care of you. And I completely get what you're saying on that. But in terms of we do need to be a collective, but a unique collective, a collective where what Larry Hughes does is Larry Hughes' business on Larry Hughes' land. But everything that Gerard and Larry's ancestors made, all of that technology collectively is for the benefit of all. It should not be for the benefit of a few, a 0.01% who claim they own the patent to everything all of our ancestors made. Like, that's where I'm at, Larry, in terms of the world right now, is if we just let 7 to 11 million children starve in the United States from lockdowns, and these were children who didn't have to starve. Also, they were children who were starving before this. And we got a bunch of adults living like fat cats, fat in the house, eating, watching Netflix, bellies full, ordering food and products from Amazon, stolen from people all over the world. We got a problem. We got a problem. Houston, we got a problem, right? When adults have everything that they want and you got children who still don't have the things that they need, like food, we got things to fix. We've had the ability to feed everybody on this planet for over 100 years now. We're just choosing not to, because starving people will make people come to Larry Hughes' house and rob him, right? And so Larry will give government more power to create more of a police state to control more. And that's how they kind of play everybody against each other. But no, I believe in not a collectivism, but we are one. And either we're going to act like we're one or we're all going to go extinct. And I'm fine with both. I'm good to go with human extinction because that's a natural choice, or us actually naturally acting like we give a damn about children and everybody on this planet and start acting like a family again.
Global research reports QAnon may have been an FBI.
I just read that. Did y'all read that? QAnon may have been an FBI sire. This is new information. We had no idea about that early on. Nobody told you that everybody on the internet is known. They know everybody. They knew it all. I tried to tell everyone that. They're like, no, Q, he just on the dark web. He's releasing, dropping droplets. Like, every single droplet that Q dropped was approved by the deep state. Please understand this, people. The only things not approved by the deep state are the things that get wiped from the internet. If you have a website and millions of followers, it is absolute. And why? Because of today. For the same reason that they use this dude with the Proud Boys, same reason that QAnon was blessed by the state. It is the state, people. Nobody can come save you. No, there's no Harriet's coming to save you. They didn't grab her and threw her back as capital. Nobody's coming to save you. You have to save you. You have to save other people if you want to, but you can't. No, ain't no Q, there are no adult heroes in any of this crap. There are no adult villains in any of it. They own everything. They own the servers, the website, the networks, the ISPs. They dictate what you hear. You know, to follow Q is kind of crazy as to follow Jiving Bowden. All of them are jiving. It's all controlled opposition. So there you go. Let's look at the evidence. I hate to say I told you so, but that's how these things work. So, and just to be sure, I don't want anybody having a snot bubble from the things that I say. Listen to what is being said. Think about what Brother Mark said earlier, which is just because you were raised that way, just because you believed that last year, doesn't mean you need to believe it now. We all make mistakes. I've been played my entire damn life. But when I find out you played me, you got me on that, I'm not going to let you get me again. And it's not, I'm not going to follow Q again. You think about the principle of it. I believe the bullshizzle that came across the television, maybe, or the internet, maybe I shouldn't believe anything. Maybe I'm just going to be an adult and I'm going to critically think my way through everything. And I know if there are no secret people on the internet, then everything on the internet is blessed by the state. It ain't a damn thing even close to being secret on the television. So obviously everything on that television, even the RT news that comes here, is all approved by the state. It's all approved by the people oppressing us.
PSYOP. We'll have to get back to you on that one. We'll still suss out that information. James, did I already make the analogy last week that the Capitol PSYOP situation was basically like an open box to a cat? I don't know if anybody has house cats. You might know what I'm talking about. You put an empty box out on the floor, your cat will jump into it within seconds. I actually mentioned this on my show and had a listener send in a video, and he was like, look. That's what I feel like the Capitol situation was. It was the perfect trap, and people fell for it just within seconds. Meanwhile, I think a sort of related stinky story to this whole COVID COINTEL agenda from The Guardian. The information warriors fighting robot zombie army of coronavirus skeptics. Stuart Ritchie, lecturer at the Institute of Psychiatry, Psychology, and Neuroscience, at the front line of a coronavirus information war. Often people are indignant at the efforts of Ritchie and others to refute the claims of a small but thoroughly amplified cadre of columnists, academics, and enthusiastic amateurs. When you tweet anything to dispute these claims, they come after you endlessly, said Ritchie. It's almost cult-like. They make the same discredited arguments over and over again. It's like a robot zombie army. Meanwhile, Sam Bowman, one of the other technocrats behind basically this new website that's going to, set everybody straight. So I think maybe it's Obama's fact check. No, wait, that's a different thing. I've really picked up the sense among the extreme skeptics that they feel the walls are closing in, and I think they're right. The walls are closing in. You might recall that classic phrase they used for about 5 years to say that Swamp Thing was going to get taken down any day now. But he says, I think they're right. They're using this, and that's not all. For your NPC friends, they also include, The Guardian includes quick guide to debunking the coronavirus skeptics. So you'll see this copy pasta perhaps come to you in text form, maybe from friends you haven't heard from so much in 50 years. James, it all seems so freaking obvious.
Hold on, I gotta go back to that.
Come to you.
I kind of want to read that a little bit. Oh, I can't. Oh, I want to. Oh, I want to. I can't. Not allowed to talk about the cuckoo. I want to read it. Oh, quick guide for debunking the cuckoo virus skeptics. I want to read it. I want to read it. No, I'm not ready to get deleted yet. I'm not going to read it. I know it's bullshit. It's just bull. Listen, people, if the number one comorbidity is something that's avoidable that you put in your mouth and buy at the damn grocery store that your government subsidizes, don't put it in your mouth. And if you're putting it in your mouth, don't put it in your mouth so much that you get clotting in your heart and your lungs like the brother just posted a minute ago. All right. When you already have clotting in your heart and your lungs because you eat too many damn Cinnabons and sugar, you're going to die when the flu comes through. Don't do it. And even that percentage, the large percentage, all make it. But but don't do it. Don't do it. That's like cutting your arm, like being and watching the show Shark Tank, being in the audience. Were there sharks in that Shark Tank? I don't think there were. But let's say Shark Tank was a real show that had sharks in a tank. And did Trump run that one? I don't remember. And in the audience, and like going to the grocery store now, buying Cinnabons and sugar and soda pop and all of that crap, putting it in your cart. That's like sitting at Shark Tank in the audience and you take your knife out like, oh, look at all the sharks in the tank. Damn it, I think I can do that too. And you, and you slice your wrist and go jump in the water. If they not bought it at the mall sharks, if they're like real wild sharks, yeah, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. And that's the clue. I can't read it, Ivana. I can't. Because I'm gonna get in trouble. No. The babysitter gonna spank me. I'm trying to stay out of Facebook jail. They said no talking about the cuckoo. So I'll talk about cardiovascular disease. I will talk about getting off of statin drugs. I'll talk about gooseberries that lower your blood pressure faster than statin drugs, and a study on nutritionfacts.org about that. If you need to look at that, I'll talk about things to help save people's lives. But if I know if I read that is it because I'm gonna get upset and I'm gonna say something, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, and that's a good point. Who's that? April talking about the overdose on fentanyl. Like, you know, these are the same grandma crew. Like these people let 500,000 people die from opioids, but they want to save grandma. No, they're just acting politicians. They're doing a job for corporations. The biggest one is the big pharmaceutical industry, and they're salespeople. And they don't give two damns who dies. That's why I can't read it, because if I read it, I'm gonna get emotional and I'm gonna say something, and then I'm just gonna be on other websites. I'm not ready for that yet. Oh, Lord have mercy. But you have to look through this stuff. You have to look through it. You gotta see
in
past
text
the bull.
form, maybe from friends you haven't heard from so much in 50 years. James, it all seems so freaking obvious. As we've seen, it basically all fully kicked in with the coronavirus scamdemic, and just was started during Trump.
Oh, good. All right, stop. Before he goes, Jesse had made a point. I like to make sure we address the comments. There is a logical issue here, G. If everything is stolen, is everything stolen? Hell yes. Everything is stolen, Jesse. Everything. It's all stolen. My coffee cup, the mugs, the clay in it. This thing I got for Holstein to make my eggs in the morning, stolen. The laptop, the Wi-Fi, the network. Me, my shirt and the fabric. Some animal died in Africa somewhere, and they got some slaves to stitch it together. It's all stolen. I think that the liberals, not the left, but the liberals are different. They got one thing right. They got a few things right, but one thing they did get right is we live in an ecosystem, people, and the conservatives should know better. We live in a Garden of Eden. We were mandated to share an eco in the system. When we can start grabbing the ecosystem and say, this is mine, you can't have it, mine, you will eventually burn up the entire planet. We are on a planet with limited resources and exponentially growing monkeys because they like sticking things in their anuses and other places too. They do, and that's why they're gonna get that Chinese test. They work better than the American test. The anal probe. They're having babies, Jesse. They're gonna keep having babies. So diminishing resources, exploding population. What are our choices? Capitalism, and we all die. Socialism, and we all die. Communism, and we all die. Or we don't own anything, right? So in being a technology guy, Jesse, this is how I kind of answer that, because it sounds really socialist when you say that, and it's not. We have 3D printers, right? What do you own that we can't 3D print in the future? In the very near future, we're 3D printing organs. We're 3D printing metal. Soon we'll be 3D printing telephones and cars. We already can 3D print houses. So what is it that you have to have a stamp on it that says Jesse Robertson that we can't 3D print? Somebody comes to your house and steals your Ferrari. You can press a button and a whole new Ferrari gets delivered to you, 3D printed for free. That's the world that we live in. This is the engineering world. This is why 3D printers changed everything. They destroyed all the conflicts on the earth. Back before 3D printers and the free energy, which is just a UFO that's flying around, which is not a UFO, it's an IFO, and the patent is on Google Patents. It's called the electromagnetic device. Ain't no damn aliens. Is people with a tailbone that came from monkey evolution, and they have badges that say United States Space Force, United States Russian Force. When they made that free energy device that Tesla started and probably finished, that they didn't tell us about, and they made 3D printers, and we created learning software that could learn, it means that we could do everything a muscle can do, and we can learn how to do it like a human brain can do. And then we got a 3D printer to print all the pieces for it. Money has no reason to exist, right? Ownership has no reason to exist anymore. Like collectively, like I was talking with our brother Larry earlier, all of our ancestors built this world, and they built it as slaves with 0.01%. Are we going to let them keep the world that our ancestors were all enslaved to build? All of them. All of our ancestors, all the barbarians, from the millions of barbarian tribes all across this planet that were colonized by the few. They built the world. It's our world. And we can hand our children a world where humans are free, or we can hand our world the same type of bullshit. But if we can see through the nonsense, right? We have to release the Rockefeller world. We have to release the Rothschild world. We have to release the concepts they gave us of mine. And it's okay that people died for it because this is mine. I was born here. This is my privilege. You know, it's up to us, though. It's up to us. We can give the children freedom like Harriet Tubman, or we can take Harriet and put it right back on the thing that enslaves everybody. I say that all the time. People get tired of hearing me say that.
Jacking our style. They're kicking us off all the platforms we pretty much made famous, and now they're literally using our words. The information warriors fighting skeptics. Corporate media fighting the info war. James, I believe you were talking about the info war pretty recently.
Yes, because once again, hey guys, it is not an analogy. It is a real thing that is really happening. And if there is anything, I suppose, that speaks to the favor of these info warriors at the COVID FAQ, it is at least they're out in the open saying, yes, we are trying to do this, and here's how we're doing it. And they're being open when it's coming from their site, at least in this context. Although, of course, this is run by a group of volunteers ranging from a politician to an anonymous doctor. So again, yeah, take it for what it's worth. And don't worry, guys, their website says they're totally not funded by anyone or have any secret agenda, so you can trust them, right? But that does raise the question. Well, okay, even if these guys are just these guys and they're just whatever, they're just normal people that are just fighting back against misinformation, it does raise the specter of the larger information war that is being waged by literal warriors in actual militaries that we know is going on, not conspiracy theory. I'll send you a flashback to April of 2020. Defense chief says 77th Brigade is countering COVID misinformation, where they, the good folks at the National of Scotland reported that the UK's chief of the defense staff, General Sir Nick Carter, has revealed that the secretive 77th Brigade of the British Army is involved in countering coronavirus misinformation online. Speaking at today's daily briefing, Carter said the unit, which was set up in 2015 to specialize in non-lethal forms of psychological warfare and use the likes of Facebook and Twitter to fight in the information age, had been tackling false information about the pandemic on the web. Look, they're not...
Ooh. You know, I was about to pause it and say something, and I really shouldn't. So, but I'll just ask you the question. Do you think that they're combating misinformation, or do you think that they're doing what their political leaders who tell them what to do were hired to do for big pharmaceutical corporations? That's really all you got to ask yourself. Remember this, science isn't censored. If it's censored, it's not science. That's called bullshizzle. That's called pseudoscience. Science doesn't need your help. It doesn't need your police. It doesn't need your deletions. It doesn't need any of that. There is no such thing as hate speech. There's no such thing as needing to hide bad data. The bad data is what confirms the good data. The false information is what confirms the right information, the correct information. It is not science when you're censoring. It's book burning because you have an initiative that you're up to. You got something that you don't want people to see because there's something that you want to do that you know that they won't want you to do.
Not obviously going to tell you the details of any of these operations. Maybe a few years from now, some Freedom of Information will get some little tidbit out and people will go, oh my God, do you know they were fighting an info war? Yes, we know they are fighting an info war, literally fighting and dedicating entire units of their military to this.
Absolutely. Hold on. Another good wise thing I'd say. Nobody hides information from you to protect you. They hide information from you because they're abusing you. Somebody cheating on their wife or their husband, hiding that cell phone, hiding the contacts, hiding the text messages, hiding the password, the email. They come in the room, they close the laptop. Nobody's hiding things from you to protect you. They're hiding things from you because they're abusing you. They're hiding things from you because they are using information in a powerful way. Knowledge is power, and it only becomes power if they keep it from you.
Yes, it is happening. So keep that in mind when you are, I want to say, wasting your time arguing with people on forums and participating in flame wars and trying, I'll change this bot's mind. There are botnets out there, but they aren't all run by Russian hackers who are, plotting to take over America or something. They are literally the American military, the British military, the military of every nation has these online social media profiles that they've created that they are using to wage information warfare. I've talked about it on the program before. It is happening. Please keep that in mind. You are not necessarily corresponding with real breathing human beings, or at least not paid disinformation agents when you are corresponding with people online. Keep that in mind at all times. Keep that in mind going forward. Don't waste your life force and your energy trying to convince potentially a 77th Brigade run bot on the other side of that conversation, and realize we are in information war. So the best way to win the information war, get out there, spread the information, fire and forget. Don't waste your time in flame wars or that type of nonsense, and go into it with the mentality of a soldier fighting an information war, because you are in that war whether you know it or not.
Fight like you're in a war. Harriet Tubman said it again. I quote her every day almost now. I freed thousands of slaves. I could have freed thousands of more if only they knew they were slaves. If you know you're a slave and you know you're at war, you can act like you are at war. But if you don't know you're at war, you're going to go to MSN, CBS, ABC, Fox News, or even the internet, or even Q, or the liberals, or the left, or the Jive and Bowden, or Trump for your information. You need to critically think your way through everything on your own. You have no idea who is actually fighting against you. It's spiritual warfare. You can only determine by what people do, not what they say. That's why when you look at what they're doing to Harriet Tubman, it's obvious that there's some sort of a psychological thing they're doing because they want credit, because there's something else that they want to do.
You were using those military analogies last week, buddy. So I didn't have it in the show notes, but you remind me again, something I mentioned recently on the show. Army PSYOPs officer resigned before taking part in Capitol riots. What does that tell you? Army psychological operations officers were involved in this giant psychological operation. What a shocker. I used to talk for years ago on my show, about how they wanted to fight the net as an enemy weapon systems. The military wrote years ago something called the Information Operations Roadmap. I don't even know that they fully implemented it. It was all about future combat systems and all these sort of space age things that were probably maybe too advanced for the time, or too advanced for us to think they were for the time. They've been doing this for a long, long time. James, I think all kind of gallows humor aside for this third and final story on This New World Next Week, episode 435, we're all pretty much going to be enemies of the deep state. Remember, they used to make movies about this with Will Smith. And, of course, it's real. The government's war on domestic terrorism is a trap. If anything, we've talked about in some of the previous stories basically set the table for this. As John Whitehead writes, we are moving fast down that slippery slope to an authoritarian society in which the only opinions, ideas, and speech expressed are those permitted by the government and, of course, their corporate cohorts. Remember, if it's getting giant corporate media coverage, probably not a grassroots movement. In the wake of the January 16th riots at the Capitol, domestic terrorism has again become the new poster child for expanding the government's powers again at the expense of civil liberties. Of course, domestic terrorist, just like terrorist, was just a bullseye phrase. They can use it interchangeably with anti-government, extremist, or like I just said, just plain terrorist. They're going to use that to describe anybody who might fall somewhere on this broad spectrum of viewpoints that could be considered dangerous. So watch and see. We're all about to be enemies of the state. And again, like we saw just the other day, who's this new guy again? James.
Hold on, before we get to the new guy. And who's the enemy of the state? If you don't know who the enemy of the state is, then it's probably you. Who is the enemy of a powerful, violence-based group conflict state? To me, it would be somebody who had no interest in violence, and it would be someone who had no interest in being in a group, and it would be someone who has no interest in believing in the power of the state or believing in authoritarianism. If you want to fight the power, you have to look at what the power doesn't want you to do, or you got to look at what the powerful people don't want you to do. And what I love that he just said, and I don't know who this brother is, but he's on Corbett a lot, and that is, if it's popular, it's controlled. If it's popular, it is embraced by the state that oppresses you. You already know not to follow it. Does it mean that popular people can't say anything that's true? No. It just means you need to look, you need to take it with a couple grains of salt if it's popular, right? There are no grassroots, uncontrolled movements on a slave plantation. Once it gets big, the master knows about it and the master controls it in one way or another. All right. I kind of want to watch the rest of it. And I kind of don't. So I'm going to look at comments real quick. It was good. I think I listened to most of it passively this morning. Let me see. I'm not exaggerating when I can't read it over there. I got to read some right here. I need bigger text. I got horrible eyes. That's the problem with being a geek is I got to struggle to see things. I don't wear glasses because I'm rebuilding the strength in my eyes, but that's a whole nother discussion. I'm not exaggerating at all when I say my community has done 180 in the last 2 weeks and I've completely shut down and everyone has got face diapers on. It's insane to me. After all this BS, they're following it now. Yeah, Barbara, it is, but it is a good example of how fickle people are. It's a good example of how unevolved we are. It's a good example of how many people aren't paying attention. And it's also a good example of how badly they need you. It's a good example of how badly a lot of people in your family need you because people fall into this stuff so easily, you know, and it's brainwashing, right? You know, it's like part of the reason, Barbara, me being an abuser in certain ways, I let my friends watch the news and I won't watch it. It's because your subconscious mind, it takes in everything that it hears and knows and sees. This is why an abusive husband constantly tells you how bad you are, constantly tells you how bad you can't cook and how you're worthless and you're this. And after a while, your mind starts to believe that because your subconscious just takes in data. It's your conscious mind that can say, oh, that doesn't make any sense. But your subconscious mind is just taking that data in. And after a while, you think, yeah, well, you know what? I deserve to be beat because the chicken was cold because I'm no good. That's how the abusers work. That's how they program in you and brainwash you. And this is what the television does. They keep using that P word. They won't stop. Even people that I listen to and I trust a lot, Barbara, even they say it. We're in the middle of a P. We got this P going on. Well, even during a P, you know, from Lee Camp to everyone else. And it's just like, well, first of all, the problem is it's impossible to focus on every different category of how the state oppresses people, right? So there are a lot of people who speak very truthful things, but they don't know what cardiovascular disease, and they don't understand the relationships between blood clotting, and they didn't hear what the doctor said about the comorbidities from the autopsies that they're figuring out that this is linked to that. They didn't hear from the cardiologist who said, oh, you know what? I'm closing my practice and I'm opening a clinic to help my old customers get off of statin drugs because this thing's going to keep growing. You're not going to be able to keep up with it with your little method of fighting these things. These people have to go back to living healthier lives. I convinced them they could take statins the rest of their life. They can't do that. They're going to die. So, but they brainwash it, right, Barbara? And they brainwash it in. We're in a P. We're in a P. We're in the middle of a P. We're in a P. And then people are really scared. And a lot of people, I know, Barbara, they know face diapers don't work, but they're scared to death. And so when people are scared, they'll hug the leg of people closest to them. I remember a time when one of my sons was young. I don't know, we're at some fun park or something. He got scared and like we're standing around talking. And I saw he like ran over and like hugged the leg of some strange dude. And I knew it. I was looking at my son like, oh, Lord, Julius don't even seem to know that he hugging the leg of some strange. I was a horrible parent in some ways, Barbara. But I'm a man, and men, we like, you know what, toughen them up. Throw them in the water. And so he ran up and he hugged the leg of a total stranger. And I think as a parent, you've probably seen your child do that and then look up like, oh, Jesus. And they ran away and he found me. But that's what people do. You know, when they get really scared, and these people are really scared, they're just running to hug the first leg of the people they can find. They just end up hugging jiving Bowden leg. Bowden leaned down and sniffed that. Get that good sniff on you. Or they're hugging Fauci's leg, and the dude is foul. The dude's been involved in genocide with HIV and AIDS, and we know this. And there are books written about you hugging this guy's leg, and the guy a pedophile. And Barbara, they don't seem to understand when you hug these strangers' legs, you know that the Fauci ding-a-ling is right there. It's close, because if you're hugging them, you're on his knee, don't hug them. Don't hug them. Don't do that. And all these people get down with Epstein, Barbara. That's the other part. He's all, like, if this sounds crazy to y'all, I'm sorry it sounded crazy to you. And I open my eyes like this, and I do the crazy black man with the big eye thing. But these people protected Epstein. These people protected Epstein for decades. Most of these people were on the Lolita Express. They partied and got down with Ghislaine and got pictures. And you, all right, but they're scared. They're scared. And all you can do, Barbara, sometimes is try to help people. You know, thank God your community, Barbara, has you there. And I hope that they don't turn you in when the contact traces come around. Try to help as much as you can, Barbara, but when you know it's time to go, girl, you got to go. Yes, terrorist, Jesse. Barbara is a terrorist to her community. Eventually they're going to turn her in because she'll say crazy things like, yeah, you need to eat gooseberries because they lower your cholesterol. You need to stop taking statin drugs, and you need to fix your diet. Stop being stressed at work. Maybe you need to go on and get a divorce if he's driving you that crazy. Maybe you need to get a divorce if she's driving you up the wall, because when you're crazy and you're stressed out, your immune system doesn't work. If you got immune challenges, when that P comes across, you might have some problems. Welcome to the United States of China. Ni hao ma, Tony. Ni hao ma. Everybody learn Mandarin. You need to know, because our new overlords when they come in. And it's not like a thing where it's like, oh, well, the left is corrupt. They're with China. Like, no, the left like money. The left like money like the right like money. The left just knows that, hey, China's giving them more money. Shoot, maybe the Russians are giving the right more money. I don't know. I don't really care. I'm nobody's slave. I don't care who y'all work for. I don't want to speak Russo. Is that the Russian Russo? What do Russians speak? Russian? Or they speak Russo? I don't know what it is. But I don't want to speak Russo or Mandarin. I want to speak my good old American, ebonical, redneckical, corporate American speech. But yes, enemy of the state. Yeah, both fine. Enemas of the state. That's anybody that does not believe in the state. They're going to come round us up. All right, what state? All of them, because all of them are nation states, and they're all bankrupt, and they're all controlled by the United States Incorporated. All right, I was about to type the same. All right, Ivana, we are all going to end up meeting in person in secret. No more online presence, because otherwise we will all end up being enemas of the state. And this is a very true statement, Ivana. We're all going to gather together, and the people, y'all got your papers, because everybody, you need to write this down. So we all going to meet together. We might get there at different times, but you're going to come there with me. It's called the Walmart FEMA camp. We all going. Every last one, I'll be like, hey, they're going, man, look at it. Oh my God, let's see all that. Oh, damn, your cage is kind of small. How come you can't stand up? Oh, they go Lori. Oh, Lori, yeah. Lori over there in section 2 and Mark down the street. They go Jonathan. Yeah, they let Jonathan, they put him on a chain and they let him walk out there like it's Guantanamo every now and then. I know they go Tony. Yeah, no, Tony didn't make it. They go, that's not Tony. That's somebody else. That's phony. That ain't Tony. Tony, they didn't kill him. They put him in the hot box, let him sweat it out. They tried to sweat the honesty out of him. Yeah, we're going to meet Ivan. Mm-hmm. It's going to be in prison. It's just not fun. It is funny. It's not funny and it's funny at the same time. Like they're cheering it, and we got because they put Harriet on the bill. Where Harriet at? Hang on. Let me bring Harriet over. Are we done with corporate? Y'all can watch the rest of it. Bring Harriet over right there. This is why. Because they put her on. Let's move this dude out the way. Let's move the CIA guy out the way. You're like, nah, I thought he's a white nationalist. No, he just worked for the state. He just needs to scare you the same way the other side need to scare them so they can control everybody. Let me get the slavery hand. Here you go, right here. Here we go. If we've delivered, that's George Washington on the bill. We delivered Harriet on the dollar capital, put her right back in slavery. Now she is capital again. She fought her way free with shards and sticks and rocks and shotguns and went back to free a bunch of other people. And we've decided in 2021, we're going to let Jive and Bowden, Mr. Black Genocide, make her capital again. This is why we all going to prison. Every last one of we all deserve it. Every last one of that's why it's funny. That's why it's hilarious. Like, we are this stupid. We are this stupid. Like, oh, Jonathan Bowden is going to save us. You know how many million brown kids are dead because that man's crime bill? You know, and Corn Pop was waiting. Corn Pop dead. Then Corn Pop died. And then Corn Pop died too. You know, and this was before he wrote the crime bill. Somebody probably wrote something before him. But anyway, and Mark said, stop hating China. I don't hate China. I love China. China makes some of the most pretty women on this planet. I love me some China. China made people. I used to cheat I'm gonna say, what is his name? His brother's Dennis, and my little brother was Philip. I used to cheat on him in math. I used to look over the top. That's why I went into computer science. I hate doing math. I figured computers should do the math. We shouldn't be doing the heavy lifting no more. Oh, that gets back to the sister's comment from a board. Somebody said something about AI. Who's that? Deb CT. I love AI. Ain't nothing wrong with AI. I have no issues with AI. We just can't make it yet. All right. We are a mentally ill species. There is zero chance we're going to make a conscious creature called AI until I said this the other day, until we figure out how to not bomb children because we like, I don't know, video games. We like cell phones and laptops and cars. Until we can figure out how to get these things without murdering people and stealing their resources, we don't need to make AI. We don't need to make military robots that'll go do it for them and not have a consciousness. I kind of like the soldiers going over there and coming back, like Mark Johnson. He's one of them. Came back, hey, yeah, it was all bullshit, all of it. Well, what part of the Vietnam War, Mark, was bullshit? So every last drop from the moment they said, hi, Mark Johnson, sign right here, to the point I got home, it was all bullshit, right? Every war is bull. Every war is lied into bull. So yeah, don't hate China. China, they just our cousins. They just our cousins over there. Major red flags should be red flags with everything, Jonathan. Everything is controlled opposition. I love it when people, Jonathan, they come say, oh, that's controlled opposition. I'm like, where do you live? In the United States Incorporated. Oh, yeah, where you get your news from? Oh, yeah. What political party? Oh, yeah. Okay. What you go on the internet to get your, okay, yeah. Everything is controlled. The America should be one big red flag, and it should be big enough to encompass like the entire world with Canada and British. It's all bullshit. All bullshit. All of it. Everything significant is kept off of television and off of the internet. So all you have is your critical thought. That's all we got. That's all we got. We ain't got nothing but history and critical thought. Everything else is just bullshit. Don't trust nothing. Don't trust me. I don't hate China. That is just how they censor, and it is the end of the era for us. Well, yeah. Oh, Tony, I have a theory on that though. It's the most productive slave plantation is a slave plantation that has the slaves that work the hardest and do the best work for the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and the families that are involved in the markets where they trade the cotton, the rubber, and anything else they're enslaving people for. And so China is just a better slave plantation than us. They don't complain as much as we do. They don't get sick as much as we do. They're willing to not go to certain parts of their city and have social credit scores and smart houses and treat each other foul. Unfortunately, they do. And it's a part of a cultural thing, right? So America's a little too free. You know, you can't have little obstinate slaves in America. I ain't gonna go to work because I'm sick. I ain't going. No, you ain't going. This is my land. Like Americans still think they're free. And so that's why we're going to speak Mandarin, and China is going to take the position as the America in the world, the United States Incorporated, because China is it's a more productive slave plantation as people are willing to work hard to make American slavery toys. China. So what was the answer to the people who are making the iPhones? There's like half the people right now watching us on iPhones. So half of the things that y'all even watching me on and the thing I'm recording it on, because I'm pretty sure a Droid ain't much different. But the iPhone, Apple, wasn't it the factory, and that was China or Japan? I'm pretty sure it was China. Where the people at the top of the factory, and they're like, I can't live life no more, and they're jumping off the roof committing suicide. And China's answer was thug life. How are you going to fix that? Well, maybe the people work too hard. Maybe we need to give them some more food, pay them a little more, let them go home to their families on the weekend. I don't know. Nope. The answer was putting nets up there. They just put nets all around the building so people couldn't jump off and commit suicide. They need that in America. That's they don't want you to die. I told you, when you're a slave, they love you. Slaves have universal health care. That is exactly universal health care. They put nets all around the building to stop people from jumping off, and they want that in America. Why? Because the leaders at the top want to prove to the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, the ones who actually control real industries and markets and central banking, that they can have a more productive slave plantation with less human beings with less rights than China can. And so that's the only race. There's no race between left and right. There's no race between anything but massive corporations that look like nations that are racing to prove to the people who seem to own the damn world that they can build a better slave plantation than the rest. It's crazy. It's crazy the world, the time we live in. Hang on, let him wrap this up real quick. And wrap it up. Where's the button at? It's over here somewhere. Let him wrap this up real quick because I can close that screen.
I feel like, we typically we don't follow the doings of the puppet presidents in America. We do, I think, when they're kind of coming in and out of power is the time to sort of, I think, kind of track and show, like, here's everything they said and here's everything they're actually kind of doing. We're all pretty much going to be enemies of the state. So watching everybody cheer over the My Pillow guy getting, James, I don't know if you knew this, the My Pillow guy got kicked off of Twitter because of wrongthink, I guess. And everybody cheers, not thinking that's going to come for you as well later when you least expect it. In a deja vu mirroring of the legislative fallout from 9/11 and the ensuing buildup of the so-called security state, there is already again a growing demand in certain sectors of the government to be given expanded powers to root out domestic terrorism, Constitution be damned. If this all is already a test of Biden's worthiness to head up the American police state, he seems ready and super excited. As the Jacobin writes, we should be very worried about Biden's domestic terrorism bill. But the Coppenfield administration, man, they hit the ground running. Biden signed more executive actions on day one than Trump, Obama, and Bush combined. And still people think we toppled a dictator. At this point, Brock, please, I'd like to show the picture of a smiling Joe Biden. Not touching a kid in some weird way, though he is standing very close to convicted child molester Dennis Hastert. Biden standing there, watching on as baby Bush signs the papers for Gulf War II. Biden, remember, he didn't just vote for the Iraq War. He helped lead the march to war. Maybe this is why he's getting rewarded now, James. I speculate that a lot of the people who play the roles and play the parts 20 years down the road, man, hey, look, Mike Pence is vice president. All he had to do was push the anthrax lie that Saddam was behind it. Biden's key role in the crime of the century, the 2003 U.S. invasion of Iraq. And everybody, they just want to forget all about it. But
pay to play.
As a reminder, the Peace and Love Party means freaking business this time. Biden considering reversing Trump's drawdown in Iraq after a well-timed attack near the U.S. Embassy. A large U.S. military convoy rolled into Syria on the first day of Biden's presidency. And your Peace and Love hat trick, U.S. flies B-52s as show of force against Iran. Again, man, maybe it's still 9/11. 9/11 never stopped. The operation has just continued to roll on nearly now 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like the things that people have been screaming about for the past 20 years are suddenly irrelevant. No, it's just this is the fulfillment of all those things that people have been warning about since the war of terror paradigm has come into place. No, they're going to take all of this terror hysteria and turn it against the people. That's what this is ultimately aimed at. It's aimed at you, conspiracy theorist. Now you're going to see what that looks like because, yes, the domestic terror threat is suddenly going to be everywhere, and anyone who disagrees with anything that the government is doing is clearly a domestic terrorist and must be dealt with. Oh, look, we have all this apparatus for dealing with terrorists now. Yay! What a coincidence. Yes, this has always been the plan, and we can see it unfolding in so many different ways. That is going to be the theme of the coming years. And one simple little story to get your mind around how this works, in case you haven't gotten there yet, is this GameStop short squeeze that's going on right now. I haven't been following this story intensely, but I have seen the development of the headlines and the way the story is trending. So long story short, there were some big investment firms like Melvin Capital and Citron that were caught short selling stock of GameStop and some other companies, and some online people got hold of those that position and saw where it was trending and say, hey, let's do a short squeeze. So they're running up the GameStop stock right now. It's jumping and jumping and jumping more and more and more. And so these short sellers are getting caught, and they're going to have to eat billions potentially in losses as this stock continues to go up. So how does this get covered? Well, you look at a story from a couple days ago, like from CNBC. GameStop jumps more than 130% even as hedge funds cover short bets, comma, scrutiny of rally intensifies. Wait, now we have to scrutinize when a stock is rising? Why? Because this is some sort of financial manipulation? No, because the people are getting together to do this. So what's the next headline? NASDAQ CEO suggests halt to trading to allow big investors to recalibrate their positions to combat Reddit users. And then you follow up with this headline: Biden administration is monitoring market-wide short squeeze. Yes, the U.S. government will come in and say, hey, guys, yeah, we want you to play in our phony, rigged, baloney stock market, but not that way. If you try to do something for yourself, oh, no. We're going to stop trading. We're going to make sure that these big investment crony capital firms, they have their ability to recalibrate, and so that they can come back and win this rigged game against you. That's how this game works. And anyone, I'm putting it here. Watch how this story develops and how it goes on. They're going to start talking about these domestic extremists, these online radicals who are doing these things and trying to manipulate the wonderful stock market that keeps our economy together. And blah. It's going to be interesting to watch how this develops. And let's go second, third order from this. Eventually, if this technique actually does, I mean, as it is shown, can have some real results, they're going to try to find ways to manipulate it and try to move people into, oh, well, okay, so let's run up this stock now, guys. We're short selling this stock. Don't run that one up. Oh, and they're going to play don't throw us in the Briar Patch game and do all the kind of psychological manipulations. But the point is the way this story is being covered and the reaction that's happening to it. Yeah, you can play in our rigged and phony markets, but not that way. If you do that, you're an online extremist. You're a radical. We have to find ways to deal with that. And that.
Right. And that's a good example. I'm not going to go through all of it. But, the whole point is that everything is contrived and phony, right? I mean, this is cronyism. This is the world John D. Rockefeller built. Like I started to talk about yesterday. I'm not even sure if I made the complete point, is that the Rothschilds created a phony banking game. John D. Rockefeller won that game through Standard Oil. He unluckily made billions of dollars, so he bought the entire world because he had to get rid of his money because they were suing him through the Rockefeller Foundation, and he created games of his own, these big, massive markets and industries, and it's all controlled on all sides. Government does not like competition, and so when you're actually doing something effective, which apparently the Reddit users were, and you were winning games the way that they do, because they all work together in that way, they will block you, they will ban you, they'll call you a white supremacist because you're doing something against the state. That's why they brought race back into the game, right? Because right now you've got people who feel that they got to cheer the fight against white supremacy or they're racist. And you can't be that ignorant. You have to see how they play people through emotions to create this bull shizzle world to control everybody. All right, that's enough of that. I'm gonna go through some comments. I think there might have been something else I thought was kind of interesting. Biden himself is just a diversion, as was Trump, so on and so forth. Yep, and the show goes on. Just dance on the left. Okey pokey. That's how I put it, both fine. It's the okey pokey. You put the left one in, you put the right one out, you put the left one in, and then you shake them all about. You do the American okey pokey, and you turn everybody around. And that's what it's always about. And we knew that when we were like 4, but we seem to forget it now when we're 40. The best liar, they are the best liars, Verna. They do it very, very well to people who watch a lot of television and their mind is controlled by all the false information that they allow. But if you're not watching television, if you want to increase your intelligence, if I'm talking to you like it sounds like I'm talking like a foreign language and it's alien to you, you're probably watching way too much television. All right. Pied Piper, yep, that's what they do, Barbara. I think they actually hide a signal on the television. outside of just the brainwashing through repetitiveness, the P word, 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 run, 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 scare, 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 be scared, buy, buy, buy. They also, I think there's a digital signal in there. I think they literally brainwash people. You know, everything on television, the few times I watch it, the news or whatever, everything is run or buy. Either they're yelling for you to run and be scared of something, or they need you to buy something. And I don't think you should do either. We should not be running. There's nothing to be scared of, only your own diet. All right. And there's not, and your lifestyle. And there's never anything that they're selling that anybody should be buying. Why? Because Hillary shouldn't be in no damn $20 bill. The greatest slavers in the world, right? She fought the people that are behind, because that's not a dollar bill. It's a currency note. And they're enslaving the entire world. So that, to me, is a damn shame. She's turning over in her grave. China is largely a diversion from ironclad Zionist control over the United States. Yes, I agree, Walt. And I think the ironclad Zionist control of the United States is a diversion for other things, right? Everything is a diversion. To me, everything is a distraction. Until we go back to some sort of root level philosophy like, hey, well, what the Zionists are doing, nobody should be able to do. All right. If we can say that, then we got integrity. If we can say, oh, well, what China's doing to its people, nobody should be able to do it. Okay. Then we know that America should be able to do that. Right. Our problem, well, I think partially is we can't apply rules across the board, you know, because that's too effective. And that seems to be the only thing that this whole colonization, controlled, contrived, false, phony John D. Rockefeller societal world where nobody's free, but people like to pretend like they do because they got a sheet of paper, is how they control it. Ooh, Joe Rogan was ranting about the cuckoo virus. I'm pretty sure I can't play that. He seems like he's getting a little more honest about it now. I guess this is, I think I can post a link. I don't know who he was talking to. He was just talking about the shutdowns and like all the people dying and the suicides and, you know, loss of life and destruction of business. And, you know, like you can even see him thinking through it. Like, they're not supposed to do this. The government never had this power. They've never done this before in history. Why are they doing it? You know, and even if Joe kind of knows how things work, you know, on the level he's at, he couldn't tell you if he wanted to. They delete him fast as anything, and he needs money like the left does, like everybody else does, and that's how they control us through debt. What was this? Kim did something good this morning. I also like Lee Camp. We didn't watch a Lee Camp in a while. Also, I'd love to just look at the headlines and see what's going on from Russia, but you know, I don't know if I got the patience for that today. CNN claims American Al-Qaeda is infiltrating our farmlands. Oh yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing. Maybe. Let me take a quick peek. I don't remember what she said. I knew it was good. Hold on. I don't think y'all can hear that. Press the right button. Go back. Try that again. Share the screen. Okay. Yeah, I didn't press the right button. Nope. I know I pressed the wrong button. Right there. I'm getting better at this. It's gonna take me a minute. Take a monkey a minute. Take a monkey a minute. Hold on. Nope.
Capitol was in any way anything other than bad. It was really bad what happened at the Capitol. No one wants to be the victim of an invasion, and it's very scary if you've ever been a person on the other end.
Bullshit, Cam. Love you to death, but it was not bad. It was people with selfies, and the Capitol Police stood right there and watched it happen. There were stormtroopers, there were pictures. I hate to call bullshit, but once again, to get big, you do have to say certain things. And I do appreciate the fact that she was honest and she said that ahead of time. I'm not going to talk about cuckoo virus no more because they don't want me to talk about it. And I don't want to be demonetized. I want to, you know, take this platform and do some good with it. And I think she is doing that. But very clearly, when you think about the idea of people who literally just signed bills for the new invasions to send the U.S. military around the world and blow up poor people and brown people to steal their resources from third world countries, they don't give two damns about invasion. See, they're scared when people are outside their office with selfie sticks and they're upset because they want their government to do something for them. but they're willing to send bombs, drones, and tanks into other people's countries to invade. To me, I don't do hypocrisy. So yeah, it was not bad. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go with that. I believe in karma. I think if you kill people, karma's coming for you. And it doesn't really matter whether it's controlled, contrived, it gets out of hand because you got people who are informants for the police state doing it, or George Soros $100 million. I think karma always does what's supposed to. And I think if you kill people for the things that they live close to, it's going to come for you.
And of an
I'm
invasion,
going to skip
people
past
bring.
that.
But today, when I watched CNN, they were actually equating these Americans, these rioters, those who took over the Capitol, those who went way overboard in their protesting, way overboard in the protesting, where they went and they broke into the Capitol building to do God knows what, whatever their plan might have been. Some of them seem to have some sinister plans in their deluded minds, and others maybe just wanted to get in there and things got carried away for them. Similar to what happened this summer when people broke into homes and businesses. All of that was frightening. But CNN today, as I was watching, actually equated these protesters, these rioters, these insurrectionists, if you will, to Al-Qaeda. Let's watch this clip from CNN.
This is truly a disturbing new warning from the Department of Homeland Security. We're joined by our Chief National Security Correspondent, Jim Sciutto, and former Washington, D.C. Police Chief Charles Ramsey. Jim, how serious is this threat level for violence in Washington now? And I note that this bulletin that was just released, the top words are that it comes from the National Terrorism Advisory System. The use of the word terrorism is specific.
No question. And the concern is that January 6th was not the end, but really the beginning, or rather the acceleration of a domestic terror threat. The groups involved in it, as well as others drawn to the cause, were emboldened by what they saw January 6th, not unlike what you see with international Islamist terrorists, that the attacks themselves are recruitment events, as it were, because it excites these groups. It shows that they have capability. It draws them to the next one to try to repeat what, despite the arrests, they see to some degree as a success, as a show of their strength.
Wait, hold on.
Please get him, Kim.
I'm sorry, and I don't mean to laugh at this, because what happened at the Capitol was bad. As I was saying, no one's saying it wasn't. But I don't think we can go as far as to say, oh, this is what happens in the Middle East when they recruit Al-Qaeda and when they recruit for ISIS. This is what's happened here in the United States. So what they're saying is that the DHS issued a warning today saying that there was potential violence by domestic terrorists. They're calling these people domestic terrorists. They don't really actually fit under the category of what a domestic terrorist or a terrorist in general should be. A terrorist organization has a political agenda that is, and not just a person that has a political, has some political angst against the government. I think we all do, right? We all have something about the government, something we would like to see change, some political issue we're passionate about. That doesn't make us a terrorist, even if we go out and protest. And
I agree. The whole thing from the rooter to the tutor, the whole damn thing, the entire United States Incorporated, the entire corporation needs to go. Every last drop of it, so the states can go back to being governments, the people can go back to having say. So no, I do have to disagree with you, Kim. I don't have an issue with one portion of government, one little morsel of it. I don't have any issues with one piece of okra. I have no issue with one okra fried or dyed, okra raw with basil. It's disgusting, all of it. It all needs to go. I'm not eating any of it. Not in the United States Incorporated has anything for me. It is a for-profit corporation and it's bankrupt. It will only do what those who pay it the most to do will want it to do. The whole thing.
Even if things were to get out of hand, I don't think that qualifies us as terrorists. Certainly not to the level of Al-Qaeda or ISIS. That is insane. It's absolutely insane. But this is the narrative they're pushing out there. And what makes me even more scared about this, and we're going to continue watching this, what makes me really frightened about this is, I don't know if you know this, but CNN has recently become the #1 most news watched cable network. They overtook Fox. CNN and MSNBC both beat Fox starting at the first of the year. I think there's a lot of reasons for that. Fox News viewers are hightailing it off to Newsmax and OANN. Plus, there's just general fatigue from Fox viewers. They're feeling sad. They feel defeated. They don't want to watch Joe Biden's inauguration. They don't want to watch gloating from Democrats. And so a lot of them have turned off the news. But the fact that CNN is now the most news-watched network in America, and this is what they're trying to say. They're fear-mongering grandma who watches CNN. They're fear-mongering her and telling her that essentially the same thing that's happened in the Middle East with Al-Qaeda and ISIS is now happening here in the United States because of one event that got way out of hand on January 6th. One event that went way out of hand. And now
well, yes, Kim, but there's something that you missed. One event that, yes, did get way out of hand. Why? Because when you get the monkeys together and they ain't many bananas and they swinging from the trees and yelling and screaming, sniffing each other's butts and fighting with sticks and rocks, bad things happen. The monkeys don't like the jungle. It's tigers down there. It's danger. Bad things happen when you get people together in crowds yelling and screaming. And that's why what Rachel said is spot on. It's why they fund it. You got to make sure you say the whole thing. But of course, somebody at her level can't say that. I got 41 people here. I'm allowed to say that. She has 4,000 people watching when she does these things. She can't tell you the whole truth. I tell you the truth. And when you put 2 zeros on the end of that, what am I telling you? Well, it's because when you get people together, bad things happen. You know, I say it the way she does. I'm going to be honest and agree with Rachel. They fund it. So these people are good at doing. God, we just did it with Corbett. Corbett explained that to you. They fund all sides of all of it. They go to other countries and literally create terrorism to go swoop in to save everybody, right? That's what they do. They create Black Lives Matter and White Lives Matter and Prayer Boys Matter, and they just play everybody. So but that's the one thing Kim can't say. But, you know, once again, you know, this is why you can't be scared of insurrection. And the people that they say the insurrection is doing the insurrection got MAGA hats and some flyers and that. What's that thing at the football game when you got the thumb up thing? And they're running around with this swing in it, got Donald Trump's face on it. That's not called an insurrection. That's called silly people who want something from their government. All right, that's not Al-Qaeda. That's not ISIS. We made Al-Qaeda and ISIS. We did that. We paid for that because we wanted to go blow the world up. That's what the CIA does. They go into other nations and they stir up trouble so Americans can come in and not save the trouble, but steal the minerals and resources through an invasion war. They did that with the drug war, which John Bolton swooped in and wrote the crime bill laws to put all these people in prison after the CIA set up the drug routes with the Colombians to sell the guns to make money, because that's what they do. They destabilized the American population. They created mass incarceration. And it was a sting operation the same way this brother right here from Proud Boys did. It's the same thing all the time, Rachel, but you know that. That's why you need to be thrown off of Facebook, because you're a crazy conspiracy theorist who thinks money runs the world and everything's controlled opposition.
DHS has issued warning, which, by the way, they've said we don't have any credible plots or anything, but we're still just warning you. Well, why the hell are you warning us if you don't have a credible plot? That is just you being a fearmonger. And that is what that's what CNN is doing right here, saying that these people, they show up to this event, they see that there's some sort of organization that's recruiting them. Like what? Republicans? I mean, I don't know what they're trying to say here, but let's continue watching.
I don't know what they're trying to say there either, Kim, but Jim is on it as usual, which he just said right there. And I see it the same way, Jim. See it the same way, brother. Things get worse. Every single administration. Every single one. And for my Trump friends who say, well, it didn't get worse. He didn't start any wars or anything. I mean, I agree with you. Like, he didn't publicly. But keep in mind, we never find out for years later what actually happened. I don't think that they would let Donald Trump dictate to the most powerful weapon international billionaires hold. I don't think they'll let him do that. I don't think they let Donald, whose name, Obama. I don't think they'll let him dictate. And they damn sure ain't gonna let Jive and Bolton dictate. They're gonna tell them what to do. And it's what they've always done. And that's why everything gets worse. Because what Jim said, y'all treat politics like it's a religion, and it's not. It's faith-based, right? You're willing to go launch a crusade against the right because your God tells you to. Your holy scriptures state that this is what you're supposed to do to fight the white supremacy. It's like white supremacy fighting church. And the other side is fighting you, like, we got to get Donald Trump back in. And which, by the way, they are going to put Donald Trump back in. Why? Because you're staging a crusade against them. That's what they're supposed to do, right? When you, oh, goodness gracious. I got to come up with a good analogy. One of y'all smart people will have it. But how do you get people to stand down as you stop standing up to them? You know, you don't give them anything to fight. You walk away. The reason they're going after white supremacists is because they need to go after just MAGA voters, because they're not white supremacists. Most of them are brown that I know of. So to turn them into terrorists. Why? So their numbers will swell. Why? So they can have a fight. Why? So they can create more police state. Why? So they can shoot more poor kids in the street selling green things that help save grandmama in a time where they need to get rid of the drug war so people can have the natural herbs to save grandma. I agree with Jim. It's a religion. It's all a religion. The world is run by a global cult. Who said that? Max Kaiser had a good one this morning. You know what? I'm done with Kim. I'm sorry, Kim. Love you, honey, but I'm going to switch over to Max Kaiser. Max had a great way of putting it, Jim. I always go back to like banking and how banking works. The bankers control the world. They dictate what happens, when, how, where, why, who. And Kaiser had a great start. What was the name of his start this morning? He's talking about inflation, and this is where we're going. And Ivana, you were talking about you were scared earlier, and there was a prophet who once said on a great documentary called, I think it was called In Living Color, and her name was Wanda, and she said, "Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Can't be scared." I think it was Wanda. Did Wanda say that? We caused all of this. We did all of this, and so we got some challenging times to come. And it's not a time to be scared. It's a time to be smart enough to prepare for what's coming. Let me take this back to the beginning. Kaiser is always on it. I appreciate Kaiser. I'm not 100% on the Bitcoin train, but it looks very interesting. I know that they don't like Bitcoin, and I know that they want to control it. And anything that they don't like, it gets me a little moist. And the fact that they're fighting Donald Trump, arm, leg, and tooth. And he's gone. He's out. He's in Florida. He's at Mar-a-Lago or somewhere doing something or somebody. And they can't stop talking about him. So I know there's something there that I'm not getting. I'm not sure that he was fighting anything, but I'm pretty sure he was not fighting for the deep state. I'll say that. See that where that's at before I get in trouble with Lori.
Flashback to the 70s these days. So the most important question for me is, should I get a feather haircut or a perm?
Staying alive, staying alive.
You can't sing too much of it because copyright is certainly much stronger since the 70s. But what do you feel about?
I got my white suit on. I got them colored tiles in my basement. I'm practicing the hustle.
Right.
Do the hustle.
Practicing the hustle. Go Google that. But I think I'll do the feather haircut. Unless people in the audience out there, if you say, no, she should get a perm instead, well, then I'll get a perm. But in the meantime, I want to say, inflation is back. If you lived through the 70s, you remember the inflation, you remember the long lines, and you remember the disco. Well, inflation is spreading broadly into the economy amid surging costs. Companies raise prices and customers pay them despite weak economy, 10 million missing jobs. The signs of inflation building up in the economy are now everywhere. IHS Markit, in its release of the flash PMI with data from companies in the services and manufacturing sectors, added to that pile of evidence. And increasingly, Max, companies are able to pass higher input prices on to their customers, meaning their customers are not totally balking at paying higher prices, and they're not switching to other sources to dodge those price increases. That's a mindset that nurtures inflation.
That's right. That's what we've been talking about for a while now, because all this talk about deflation by the central planners was trying to hide the fact that they were involved in this grand global switcheroo where they made Chinese economy very rich at the expense of the American economy, and they kept making the Chinese economy very rich by sending them trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars and claiming that there was deflation in America. But now that China is rich, there's no place to hide the money printing anymore, really. That was the money printing sinkhole of the past 20 years. But it's filled up, right? That China's filled up. Can't add any more free cash without causing inflation over there, and they don't want that. So it's going to ricochet back. So now we got the same money printing, but you can't stop because the debt service is astronomical. So they can't stop the money printing. You can only increase the money printing. So now we're going to see real prices go up for stuff. And there's no turning back, because to turn it back would mean raising interest rates. And that would mean an immediate 1971 like U.S. default on its sovereign debt, as they did in 1971. And no one's going to do that. So the inflation genie is popping out of the bottle.
Well, I think part of the thing that you see
Hyperinflation.
is back in 1971, we did have huge amount of inflation, and the inflation and the increasing debt load forced the government to abandon the gold standard. Gold went from 1970 was worth $35 an ounce by 19.
What we're going to abandon this time around. I'll post it. Y'all can watch the whole thing. But so we're going to do this time around. We can't get off the gold standard. We got a fiat currency. So what do we do now? Digital currency. The banking for all act. Dun, 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 dun. Now you got to convert your dollars over to digital dollars. This is where a brown dude from the internet told you last year that this was coming, because he follows financial analysts. He ain't that smart, but he knows that money runs the world. So if you want to know what's happening in the world, listen to financial analysts. So what are they going to do? They're going to tell you that you need to convert your dollars over to digital dollars. And what are they going to do when that happens? It's not going to be a one-to-one conversion. It is going to be a 70% conversion. They're going to rob you of 30% of your savings so you can get 70% of that in a new currency. And that's if hyperinflation doesn't hit. And you say, I'm not going for that. You're not going to take me like that. I'm not no monkey. And you say, okay, you go ahead and wait the next month. It'll be 60%. Then wait the next month. It'll be 50%. Then wait till the next month. Then you'll get 40% of your savings. And what'll happen? But we don't have to do that, because Americans can rise up and we're going to stand up to them. Okay, you go ahead and do that. The digital dollar, the dollar is the world's reserve currency. They're going to offer that to every nation, to get every nation to defy Bitcoin and the other digital currencies, right? So because they're just going from one scam to the next. That's why they created the Federal Reserve. Then they took us off of the gold standard, and now they're going to the next type of currency, the next scam. So what if Americans stand up? Okay, Zimbabwe, take all the dollars. They'll do their conversion. They'll get a 70% or 80% conversion. Theirs actually would be like 1,000% conversion if that's the country that has the hyperinflation already. They'll all be billionaires immediately. Then you'll work for them. Like, oh, that's not going to happen to America. Do you think that the United States Incorporated cares about America? This is an internationally owned corporation that does what it's told to do. They will allow you to go to abject poverty at any day and time it benefits them. So if you've got Germany and you've got Italy and you've got all of these countries, especially from the euro, that are starving, that they can convert at a higher rate where they'll earn money just from converting from the euro to turn those in for digital dollars, they'll do it in a minute. These international bankers don't care about you. All right. All they care about is money, and they own the politicians, and the politicians are going to retire well because they're doing what they're told. That's why when they tell you to wear a face diaper, they get caught on camera the next day going outside without a face diaper. They're told what to do, and they don't believe in it, and they're not going to do it themselves. All right, that's just where the world is. All right, I'm going to take the other stuff. Jesse was saying something real quick. Here's where G and I won't find common ground. Let me see. You don't stop a bully by turning the other cheek. Is that true, Jesse? Are we trying to stop bullies? Are they bullies? Are they big, bad, Rockefeller bullies? I don't know why I like these voices, Jesse. It's weird. Do you stop a bully by turning the other cheek and standing there and letting them hit you on the other side? Not if it's like a cult religion bully. I mean, if it's a bully, I'm not a walk away from bully type person. I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area, Jesse. My problem is once you get the snot bubble going, and I'm hot and upset, and I want to fight. I love it. I'm ready for that person to come back out. No, but that's stupid. When you're fighting a system, not a bully, a system, the only way to beat the system is to not do what the system wants you to do. And I'm not sure how to say it in a way, because I know I guess I struggle with articulating the concept the way that I want to. If the system requires your belief, how do you defy it? Let's put it in the realms of a church, because somebody said before it's a religion, it's a cult, this system, colonization, this East India trading company that everybody thinks that they're defying, and everybody thinks that they're helping me out with freedom while they're putting Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill with these criminals. How do you bother the pastor? Some of y'all in church ain't gonna like this. When does the pastor call you? Pastor don't call you when you go to church. Pastor ain't never upset when I used to go to church. The pastor, for the most part, left me alone. If I didn't go to church for a little while, you get that little letter in the mail said you didn't pay your tithe. You get that phone call, hey brother, hey, how you doing, brother, hey. That's how they talk, Jesse. They call up. If I stop believing, if he thinks for a minute that I'm done believing, that phone, brother, hey, oh, how you doing? How your afro doing? Oh, I'm doing good. How the kids doing? They good. How the house doing? The car doing? Everything doing good. Everything. And I know he wants something, and I know exactly what he wants. Well, you know, how's your daddy doing? My daddy died. You know that, but I ain't gonna tell you that. And then how your mom? Okay. Now when we gonna get to the point. Why you ain't been to church? You know, because that's all they care about. Right? You don't have to fight a bully. The Art of War, Jesse, when that was written by people who are a hell of a lot smarter than I am. You can defeat any enemy if you take their will to fight. Nobody in the United States Incorporated benefits from fighting me, because I don't believe in the United States Incorporated. They can fight all they want. I'm a walk away person. I'm a walk away. I sat in that church. I tried the right pews, Jesse, and I paid my tithe taxes. And I tried the left side, and I paid my tithe taxes. Tried the black side, and did that and everything. Didn't get a chance to try the white side. That would have been fun. And I realized this is a cult. And I stopped believing. I walked out the church, man. You collapse a system when you stop using the system. It's the only way to defeat it. When you take your enemy's will to fight, there's no fight. As long as you're fighting back, yeah, they got to fight. So we're not fighting a bully. We're fighting a system. There are bullies within the system, but I don't have any interest in the bullies in the system. I walk away. I have zero interest in it. You know, that's that systems engineer for me, which is the system needs your participation. If you don't participate, it's not a system. And people need to learn that. That's Kung Fu. See, I agree with you. Now, I'm not turning the other cheek. You hit me on the right side. If it's a bully, yeah, you might get hit back. But if I realize that I'm in the Prayer Boys and the leader at the top is working for the state, or I'm in Black Lives Matter and I realize the leader at the top is working with Hillary Clinton for the state and gave me $100 million, then I realize, damn, I'm being played by these people. And I'm gonna walk away. I'm not gonna fight, because I realize that bully is goading me into what my oppressor wants me to be. Right? That's what I'm saying. Mark Johnson, the greatest reset.org, all weak speakers with solutions. Yes, that was delicious, Shirley. Oh yeah, if y'all not watching that, y'all should watch that. I watched some of them. Facebook deleting my comments. Well, then that means you're posting something important, Shirley. Rosa Kior was good. Yep, I think I showed a little bit of her yesterday, Heather, or I watched it yesterday afterwards. All right, got one better. Stay tuned. Yeah, Mark Johnson coming on afterwards, and I'm about to get up out of here, except for the fact that somebody talking about Inky. Right? Mike, you just smelled I was about to leave, didn't you? You just smelled that Gerard got slavery, so we're going to talk about the Anunnaki. Now to get him to stick around for a minute. Inky, Marduk, Alexandra, the fake. Oh, my Lord have mercy. I don't want to read this. Mike, I'm going to read that later, brother. I can't. You get me into like ancient knowledge and the things that I think were true that they've modified over time, that people turned into religions. I'll be here all day. All right. Oh, what's that, brother Mark? You need everybody right now. What you need everybody for, Mark? I already told you the deal, man. You got land. We already got the crew. We know what to do. If you got the land, we got the crew. We do all need to work on projects that Mark is talking about. So what we're talking about is preparing land, places for people to go, right? Like Barbara. Barbara's surrounded in the community. She's surrounded by zombies. They're thinking about how delicious her brains would be with some basil and some bread on rye. we have to go away and build places for people to go. There are a lot of people who are good people who just don't know what's coming. We can't take our privilege and let other people die because we can see what's coming and they can't. So Mark is working on one of those projects to get people to develop land, and that's what we really need to get back into doing. We need to go prepare land. We need to take our privilege, our ability to use our street smart and cunning, because we were given brains that have capacity for that in this scenario, and our friends and family don't, and make sure that they got a place to go when things get bad, right? They are bullies. I get that. They're annoying. I get that. You can't tell what the hell they're saying half the time because they got on face diapers and it's time. They come to your house looking like, like, hey, no, you're not coming over here unless you shake my hand. I'm a hugger. Shake hands and hug. So, in the very weird people, critical thought ain't working. They don't know how to read. They don't want to read. They eat, they go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of sugar, call it food, processed food and GMOs. Got the 5G tower right outside the house, and they don't know what's wrong. And that's probably the issue. So yeah, no, Mark, we got the crew. And they know what to do. Oh no, I'm installing solar panels, building tiny homes, cob houses, gardening. We got all the people. The only thing that we lack is the land. And so I don't go into too much detail, but there are a lot of people who are leaving. The price of wood rising, skyrocketing in America tells you that a lot of people are heading away from the kill boxes, formerly known as New York City, Chicago, Atlanta, all the cities that are controlled by people who do not have your best interest in mind. So yeah, no, hit me up. Hit me up. We're good. If you got land, I got people I can send you to develop it. All right. What? I just rejoined Gerard's talking trouble. I'm not talking trouble. You the one talking trouble. I didn't say nothing. Don't come over here talking. They're just starting to fight. I didn't say nothing about Donald Trump. I didn't say he was good. I didn't say he's nothing like that. Lori get upset. You say anything positive about Donald Trump. She ready to fight. And she a Southern Belle too. She'll put the dukes up. She'll smack you with a pan. She'll get you with some hot grits. No, I didn't say nothing about Donald Trump, Lori. I didn't say nothing. I'm out of my own business. Edward, yes, I love Edward. Oh, I got to do an interview with Edward. He mentioned in his live stream after this incident happened, the creation of domestic terrorism, terrorist narrative. Sandra, well, I like Ed because he's a great historian. He's a great historian. No, sorry, I saw what Lori posted. Historically, all this stuff happens over and over again. It's the same divide and conquer narrative. And there are no domestic terrorists. There are no domestic terrorists. We have people who hate us, and they hate us justly because we support a religion, and that religion requires we blow up their countries. There's a good way to get them to stop hating us. Is we need to stop cheering the people who are sending hate to their country in the form and packages of bombs and drones and war and soldiers. So there are no domestic terrorists. Everybody here is family. Everybody over there is family. We're having a family dispute. And the question is, do we want to end the family dispute, or do we want to keep cheering the people who are like stoking the fires to keep this Thanksgiving family dispute going? And I know y'all know who I'm talking about. There's always some ignorant family member or friend that's trying to stir up problems when the family's having an argument. There are no problems on earth. There are no hard problems. All the real things that we thought were problems all have easy solutions. We're just not doing them. Lots of laughter. Dude, you are in short line for re-education. Who's in the short line for re-education? Are y'all fighting? I said, no, there's no hard problems. What y'all arguing about? Or are you arguing with me? There's no reason to be arguing. There's no reason for snot bubbles. That's why we laugh half the time, because every problem is us. We are the beginning and the end of every single problem. All right, I'm not going to play any more Kaiser. I'm going to do the last couple comments. I'm going to wrap it up and I'm going to run. I think the controlled opposition is still talking about Trump to help promote his upcoming media platforms. Oh, Lord. You would say that right after Lori came back. She had to go deal with a patient. Now she's back. How do I be diplomatic? How do I say this? It's hard for me. It's like, well, I know Robert don't like no Trump neither. I enjoyed Trump. I did. I'm sorry. Y'all don't like that. I did. I don't know why they hate this man so much. But if you're a colonizer, killer, establishment, putting Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill, making her a capital again after she got out of slavery 300 years ago, and you hate Donald Trump? I'm just thinking maybe this man, I don't know, peed in the Kool-Aid a little bit or something. I don't know, but I'm not going to answer that question, Robert, on the grounds it's going to incriminate me. And the grounds is going to incriminate me, and I have brown skin, and I'm supposed to say the opposite of what you'd expect somebody with brown skin to say in a time I'm trying to derail conflict. Let me process. I'm gonna put another way. If I'm seeing a whole bunch of folks with white skin walking around trying to help poor black people the wrong way, way the wrong way, but they're trying, they're trying, then somebody's got to speak up for poor white people, poor white kids. I put it that way, kids who were raised with nothing, who have to go off in a world that the adults could have freed them to where they could live a beautiful life and be free, because we have the technology for them all to do that. Like, what should I do? I'm gonna put this to the crowd. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all answer this question, and I ain't gonna get too damn about the answer, but I put the question out. What should I do if I'm watching a bunch of people standing up for who I kind of used to be? Am I supposed to stand for them people too? I mean, I do, but who should I speak for the most? What happens when white folks speak up for black folks speak up for white folk, where Hispanics speak up for, give me another group, I don't know, somebody else. When the Christians speak up for the Muslims and the Muslims speak up for the Christians. When the Americans speak up for the Yemenis and the Yemenis speak up for the Americans. What happens when everybody starts speaking up for each other? The system ends. It collapses. It means you don't believe in a religion anymore. Right? What happens when people study social economics? Right? What happens when people realize that there are people at the bottom and the system requires that they stay at the bottom? Somebody be at the bottom. And fighting to lift one group up means that you are fighting to push another group down. Right? It's like a seesaw. They built this world. Rockefeller did this for a reason. Right? It's a seesaw. Somebody's always going to be down. So at the Ponzi pyramid scheme, the people at the top have the most. You can't fight for Black lives to matter without wishing bad on white lives. It's the system, right? And you have to be able to see that. You can't see that. And I struggle with people who can't see that. If you are fighting Donald Trump, you are setting up the stage. Why? Because the people that support him are going to fight you back. So I look at everyone and I say, you know what? I see good and bad in every president administration, but I'm going to refer back to what the brother said a minute ago, Brother Jim, which is, but every administration gets worse. Why? Why, if all of these guys mean well, how come it gets worse every single? I can already tell you right now, things are going to be worse when Jivin Bowden's out of office. Guaranteed. Because things are worse now. Trump is out of office. They were worse when Obama got out of office. If you have eyes to see. If you are a not see and you don't want to see, then you can't see it. Focus on the principles. Don't focus on the people. Focus on the principles. Don't focus on the people. The people will lead you astray, Holly. You got to focus on, this is spiritual warfare. There is no Donald Trump. There are actions that happen. And those actions, if it's a good thing, then I'll say it's a good thing. It's a bad thing, I'll say it's a bad thing. And I'm agnostic to who it came from. I don't give two damns about Donald Trump or Jivin Bowden. But I'll look at what they do and I'll say, all right, well, this is what's going on based how I can see it. And based on how I see what's going on, in that moment, they were channeling probably this consciousness. No, there was no good, positive consciousness that was being channeled when you want to put Harriet Tubman on the bill of what global slavery is personified by and levied on the world with the $20 bill. That's not a good idea. Somebody said Haiti was an S-hole country, and they were correct. It is, and we did that. And we can undo that if we accept the fact that it is an S-hole country. So there were good things and there were bad things, right? Someone made the capital of Israel, I forgot, Jerusalem, it's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. Why? Because it created more conflict, got people killed. It was a bad idea. Someone released a whole bunch of people from prison with the reform of the First Step Act, which they promised before they ran. And that was a good damn thing. Why? Because the people who got released went up on stage, and some of them in tears, thanking that they got another chance at life. Good and bad things happen. I just don't have time for the people. That's my point, you know? So anyway, I don't sound like I'm preaching to y'all or nothing. I mean, what do I know? I'm just explaining where I'm at. You know, and it's like you say something positive about Donald Trump, then you got to be a Trump supporter. You say something bad about him, you hate Donald Trump. And I'm just like, none of this is significant. The people are not significant when you know it's spiritual warfare. Oh, Jesse explained. So y'all are going back and forth. I'm gonna try to stay out of y'all's fussing thing. All right, I'm gonna get going. Let me see. Don't take the bait. That's a troll. Oh, y'all find a troll. Where's the troll? The troll. Look at the troll. Control. Who's that? Janet Jackson. Control. The media's job is to keep everybody divided as close to 50-50 as possible. Jim, where the hell Jim is? Jim, you just nailed it this morning. And they do great at their job. And they're paid well for it. They're paid very well for it. That's all they got to do is get people divided up. And they'll defy their morals. They'll defy their ethics because they feel that they're a part of this tribal thing. And the media is fantastic for it. Whatever you believe, there will be a group that you can fit in this country, and you'll end up having to sell out other people, but it'll fit your belief system, right? And they've divided up that duopoly. Nobody wins in a duopoly but the system, and that's why they do it. They are fantastic at it. They're phenomenal. You can literally feel bad it is. You can literally feel how bad it is. Yeah, bad and good, Verna. Bad and good. I think the truth is always good. The truth coming out is always best. So I wouldn't call it bad. I think things are happening that we've lined up to happen for a very long time. Damn, y'all still going at it. I think it's Mike and Jesse and Lori. Good Lord. All right, I'm gonna stay out of that. I'm about to get out of here anyway. Any last thing? Was anything else that we got to talk about? Take a peek at, let me see. Surprise. Yep, we got the surprise. And that was, oh, you know what? I'll do this. I'll show you what I'm looking at. Control. Surprise. Surprise. It's like, okay, the Prayer Boys guy is working for the police. Yeah, some of us knew that probably was what was going on. Like, surprise. I didn't get you anything. Hold on. Share. This button. It's always a million buttons I got to press to get up to the point on the street. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. All right. Move that over. And if anything else important happened in Monkey World before I'm going to leave. Most important things I look at, they come through my Facebook feed. And then I'll make a comment on them. So what's important this morning? Oh, look at the baby. Look at the baby. Look at the baby. It's all about the babies, y'all. All right. And not sniffing their ears. Surprise! The leader, yep, the Proud Boys was working for law enforcement. That shouldn't surprise nobody. That was a joke. Is the China anal swab more effective than the more effective identifying who has the flu? That's going to be a good question. I have not gotten the answer to that yet. We would like to know. Let me see. Corporations that know. Right. Corporations that know who butter their bread pay the salesman the highest. And you know who the highest paid employee is in the United States Incorporated. He's the salesman that got everybody addicted to drugs. We're an addict nation. 7 to 10 million children in the U.S. did not have enough food during the lockdowns. Please stop your lockdown supremacy and your lockdown privilege. Only people with privilege get to do that. Oh, I didn't even talk about this one. This is the one where the death toll went up. Did y'all see that? The murders are up. Murders up. So people are investing in murder now. Murders are up 36.7% in 57 agencies with data through at least September through November. Lockdowns cause murder. Murder is up 57%. 58 agencies reported murder is up more than 30%. All right, so you can look at those statistics. That actually breaks it down by states, very blurry one. Who was talking about that? I think was it Kim Iverson? Yeah, I think she did that one. So that was actually good. You can watch the whole video. She'll walk you through the actual statistics. And so once again, not everybody can lock down. Only the privileged people can lock down, and they'll sit at home like little privileged supremacists and be happy that other people aren't. Or be happy who else can and chastise those who cannot. That's what privilege is. All right, something is stepping up cardiovascular disease. Absolutely. Whether it's that overused P word or something else, it's agnostic to the actual root problem. When you actually want to help people, you focus on the root problems. You stop talking about side effects. They put Harriet on the $20 bill, which is crazy. Harriet is turning over in her graves. All right, that's it. I'm done. I'm about to run out of here. Booyah. Telling the truth, even though some get upset because you do, is so important. Yes, it is. It's important to have snot bubbles. That's what Lori's saying. That's that good Southern wisdom. You got to have snot bubbles. Tell the truth. Tell the truth, pop the bubble. That's how that went. Tell the truth, shame the devil. Y'all didn't get that one. Tell the truth, pop the bubble. Y'all don't like my jokes. I like my jokes. I laugh at my jokes all the damn time. Tell the truth, shame the bubble. Let that bubble pop. Get your biology, get your droplets. Anyway, so we can evolve as an ecosystem together. Hey, did you only what he was told, no more? Wait a minute. He did only what he was told, no more. Amen. That's what Trump did. That's what John Bolton going to do. That's what Barack Obama's going to do. And they all do just enough good to keep us believing in a religion. And when that plate comes around, we put our vote in the dish and pay our taxes. That's exact. I agree with you. Absolutely. I won't blow smoke up your A to make you temporarily happy. Yeah, you know what? And Lori, and don't put them swabs up there neither, girl. I don't want you messing around with that. When they bring that China test over here, and the Americans like, I don't want to die from the cocoa. Ah! And they put that butt cheek up there. Lori, don't mess with no anuses. There's the dirty stuff up there. Dirty stuff. You probably can get the cuckoo from what comes up there. But the Americans are gonna go for it because they're scared. Yeah, all I gotta do is open my butt cheeks so I don't get the cuckoo. It's just demeaning. It's crazily demeaning. All right, I'm gonna leave that alone because that's not gonna go anywhere. The anal swab is a bad idea. You can literally feel how bad it is. That we did that one. All right, let's keep going. Last comments, and I'm gonna go. I got slavery. With anyone, I'm gonna leave. Oh, Lori's upset. Lori, are you upset? Let me. Good talk, dinner time. Have a nice day. Good talk, dinner time. He looks cop-like too. Yeah, he does. You can almost smell a cop, Heather. I live around cops, a whole bunch of them. You can smell it. You can smell that bacon. Get too close. I'm not at war with cops. I don't understand why people got to be at war. They're just us. They live in our neighborhood. And you look at him, got that jawline. He looks like he's holding his breastplate like he's done this before. Right? Like that should be pretty damn obvious, isn't it? Isn't that what you do when you're used to having the breastplate is they hold it and like, that's the pose. You can tell these people are police. All right, be happy, peeps, love all. That's all you can do. Love all. We're all family, all cousins. Other guy made a couple of false guesses about me. Yeah, a lot of people make false guesses about everybody, Jesse. Jesse, they tell me I'm CIA every other day. I just go along with it. Like, yeah, I sure am. Yep, okay. That's what you got. Sometimes you just got to be condescending. Like, yeah, Gerard, he don't even know what he's talking about. Nope, he has no idea what he's talking about. You stay in the cities and you just wait for your anal swab to show up. You're going to get cured soon. Go right ahead for it. You got Modernians, you got Pfizerians, and you got humans. And if you really want to be one of them other ones, then go on and do that. Run, tell that. Nobody knows what's going to happen to you. All right, I take MMS. Wonderful stuff. I don't know what MMS is. As long as it ain't M&Ms, Mark, that's healthy. Does anal swab detect all? It detects everything, Diane. Yes, it does detect all. You can do an anal swab, detect cardiovascular disease, autism. If you're revitiligo, you can tell if a heart attack is coming. Anything that you'll buy, they'll tell you. If you're buying any of that, Diane, you can tell the future by an anal swab. If you buying that, if you're gonna buy that bridge, they'll sell it to you. I'm not buying any bridges from the United States Incorporated. They're all Gallup and Gertie's, every last one of them. All right, don't take it anymore because I don't get sick. See how that works. Yeah, well, I don't get sick. That's why I stopped believing, Mark. I stopped doing what the doctor told me to, and magically I got healthy. I threw out my medicine cabinet. I started eating organic food, Mark, and all of a sudden, I feel like I need to be getting sick. Where's my stomach virus? Every year I used to get a stomach virus, a flu or something, a headache, and all of that stuff stopped when I stopped taking their drugs and I stopped eating a lot of their food. And it's interesting how that works. All right, have a peaceful day, everybody. Del Big Tree, what time's he come on? At 1 or 2, something like that. Y'all need to watch that. Enemas seem to work. They probably do, Mark, because they clean out all that cuckoo out the channel with the boo-boo. Del Big Tree, don't forget, I'm trying not to figure Gene. Don't fetish hate G. Who got a fetish? What fetish? Fetishes are fun, Jesse. I like fetishes. No, I encourage people to show their fetishes. It is very important. I need to know everybody and all, because we live around weird people, and it's okay. It's good to be unique, like the brother said earlier about collectivism. I believe that we're all a part of a collective, but I think everybody should be the old little weird, freaky, odd, weird selves that they should be. Time I grew up, Jesse, and maybe we grew up around the same time. It was interesting to be around different people. Like, oh yeah, is that feet do that to you? Huh? You see some feet and get all excited. Ooh, good Lord, Jesse, if you didn't watch The Stand, ooh, I think I might be missing an episode. The Stand on CBS, I think it's CBS All Access. You should watch that. It's good. There's a guy on there with a fetish. There's a little twist to the Stephen King novel, The Stand, and a show from the 80s. He liked to blow stuff up, and when stuff blow up, he blow up. Oh, it's disgusting. And you miss it if you watch the last episode. You pay attention when he blew up the oil rig. He was not just watching the oil rig blow up. I'm not going any further than that. I'm just going to say he liked to watch things blow up, and he blew up. And that's a good segue into why we should not have psychopaths in government. They do like to watch stuff blow up, and psychopaths like to create more psycho in the path. They like to change the environment to make more psychopaths out of people. There's a reason why these people love war, and it's not one that I think we're going to want to see. But that's the warrior genes, what they do. All right, that's funny of CIA. Yeah, I'm CIA, Holly. I am absolutely. I'm the only unpaid person in the CIA. I'm the only person in the CIA without a retirement package. Yeah, that's not this Walt. That's the other brother Walt. He calls me CIA because I talk about free energy and he got EM electromagnetic gravitic devices. He's how y'all control the opposition? Are you CIA? Like, no, I just think aliens exist and they don't find us very interesting. And Nikola Tesla created technology that they don't want to share with nobody, and they're flying around with it. And the reason that you have Antifa and you got Black Lives Matter and Prayer Boys, and they're all following people who work for the deep state, is because you got a UFO flying around, and it's not a UFO, it's an IFO. And if people knew they had free energy, they wouldn't be out in the streets fighting over energy, because that's what everybody's fighting over. It's all resources. It's all energy. Your government controls you through artificial scarcity because they pretend that resources is scarce and energy is scarce. So they get everybody to go work out in that slave plantation. If people get a clue what really is going on, beautiful things can happen. The anal thing was created for humiliation, submission purposes. I agree with you all. And it'll work that way too. And the Americans will run out and get it because they're more scared of the virus than dropping their drawers and spreading their cheeks and pulling a Dave Chappelle. All right, I got accused by U.S. ex-Marine for working for the Fed. Ooh, goodness gracious. Better work for a cult than the Fed. Better to work for the cartels than the Fed. Better work for everybody than the Federal Reserve. They need to go away fast. I think our rulers love to play us. They do, Becca. I think they get off on it. I think they get their jollies. I think they do like the blow-up guy. He's like, pow, pow. What does he say? Boom, 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 boom. And, you know, he was boom booming while they was boom booming. I was watching it. Did y'all see Becca? Did you watch it? The Stand? You should watch The Stand. I didn't show nothing. I was just wondering, like, why? He got half butt cheeks and some legs are showing. He's sitting on the sofa he put bombs all over the big oil petroleum things, about to blow it up. And then I seen his arm, his shoulder was doing this. And I was like, he about to blow. So he's like, boom, 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 boom. He kind of sound like the American presidents and congressmen. It's time for war. And then he went boom, boom. And then it blew up. All right, I think I have to go. I don't know why that's in there. I don't think that was in the original novel. He's a weird dude. What is his name? Do y'all understand? Am I talking to myself? Nope. All right, let's go down. I know we're gonna get off. That's a nasty topic. I think our rulers love to play. They do love to play with us, and they love us to play with ourselves. And they love to lock down people and scare men so they won't go out there and date. And so women got played themselves, men got played themselves, and then everybody making less babies, and there's less people that they got to fool. It's easier to manage a smaller slave colony than if the slaves keep having babies. And that could be a great conspiracy theory that they did all this just to get everybody to stop having sex. That's possible. I believe they'd do anything, and they'd sit back in the room and just laugh at it. All right, they got everybody wondering. Yes, they do. Yes, they do, Holly. We don't never know what's going on. All right. Have a great day. This, that, some nanobots, and what nanobots keep your body, keep your bum tidy. Ooh, goodness gracious, Jim. You think they put nanobots in? That's not funny. That is not funny at all. Like, oh, we're gonna swab you and make sure that you don't have the cuckoo virus. And they shove some nanobots up there. That's why y'all should have freed Julian Assange. He told you, you don't want no nanobots in your anus. Oh, good Lord. Because they're going to spread, right, Jim? Isn't that how that works? They go in and they spread. So think about that. They didn't put some nanobots in your thing, and they just crawling all up around your heart and lungs and eyes and ears and all through your body. And they just came through the chocolate tongue. You got little nanobots with E. coli. Just carry. That's disease. That's disease. That's some diseases for you. You got some E. coli on your heart. Boy, Big Pharma gonna make a whole lot of money when they bring them anal probes on over. All right, to some degree, this has been going on for millennia. Yep, this so-called civilized society. Yes, it has, Walt. They've been playing us this long. And it's just getting more and more obvious. But you know what would happen if they tried to stick a probe inside a Native American's butt or an African's butt, Zulu butt, a Germanic tribe butt? Like when they were building their empires back then, like real talk, because we've gotten stupider over the ages. And they said, oh, yeah, well, Kunta, we're here to help you. But first, we're gonna share some food with you. We're going to break bread and fellowship. But we need you to bend over and we're going to stick this in you and make sure that you're healthy. Man, he'd have stabbed everybody in the war party. Americans, they get in line for it, Walt. They all lined up. Oh, no, I got to go be safe. Save Grandma. I'm going to open my body to experimentation to big pharmaceutical industry instead of just telling people they need to eat healthy. All right. Yeah, it's been going on. It's a scam. It's a game. Well, it's a monopoly game that's been going on for thousands of years. Yep, they'll line up for the anal pro. So I let everybody agree. And some triple mass. Yes, they will. The elites must be rolling on the floor. I think they are. I think they're having a good time. They're having a good time on us being stupid time. Also, please add your views. What are we adding views to? All right, last couple comments. We down at the bottom now. The Pharaohs. Okay, don't know how that fits in. We are all with you, Mark. Okay, good. Mark is about to go live. Gerard is about to go out. I have slavery and this cotton ain't gonna pick us up. This is Gerard. Love y'all. Y'all have a great day. I am out of here. Bye and bye. Free the people, free the children. And please don't let nobody mess with goes through your face hole or your booty hole.
Break the chains that bind me, 'cause I wanna break the chains that bind you. Do you wanna set the world free, have perfect harmony? Isn't it time for that? Do you wanna free, boom, 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 free the people? Do you wanna free, boom, 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 free the people from the bottom to the top? Make modern slavery stop. Do you want to let go of the prisoners? See everyone happy. We can have this and more if we open up the doors. Well, what do you think about that? Do you want to free, boom, boom, free the people? Do you want to free, boom, boom, free the people and Mother Nature too? Close down all the zoos. Do you wanna boom, 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 boom? Do you wanna boom, 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 boom? Do you wanna free, free?